Clientele spinning yarns that were so lyrical. I really must confess right here, the attraction was purely physical. I took all those habits of yours that in the beginning were hard to accept. Your fashion sense, beards, lip prints, I put down to experience. The big bosom lady with a Dutch accent who tried to change my point of view. Her ad-lib lines were well rehearsed, but my heart cried out for you. You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul. My love for you is immeasurable. My respect for you immense. You're ageless, timeless, lace and fineness, your beauty and elegance. You're a rhapsody, a comedy, you're a symphony and a play. You're every love song ever written, but honey, what do you see in me? In my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul. You're an essay declined, please pardon the grammar, but you're every schoolboy's dream. You're Celtic United, but Davy, I've decided you're the best team I've ever seen. And there have been many affairs, and many times I thought to leave. But I bite my lip and turn around, 'cause you're the warmest thing I've ever found. You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul. You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul. You're in my heart, you're in my soul. You be my breath should I grow old. You are my lover, you're my best friend. You're in my soul.
It's Barry's Baseball on WSAL Logansport. This broadcast is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors. These businesses contribute in many ways to our community, and they believe that high school athletics needs to be broadcast on the radio. Co-presenting Barry's Baseball on WSAL is the Mike Anderson Auto Group and Tyson Fresh Meats in Logansport. WSAL thanks them for their sponsorships, and we want you to appreciate their commitment as well. Barry's Baseball is also sponsored by Direct Maytag in Logansport and by Security Federal Savings Bank. Thanks to these businesses for sponsorship of Barry's Baseball as we take you out to the ballpark on WSAL.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Field. It is opening day, and it's still day, I believe, Mr. Clary. Although we were missing a couple of things. And a
couple of things?
Like maybe an opposition team. Lafayette Jeff didn't show up till a little after 5:10 or so.
And we're still wondering about the umpires, too. Actually, that's what I thought you meant. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, yes, it is. Good to see you. I trust the offseason was good for you.
Oh, here recently it was great.
Yeah, you got your Purdue hoodie on, and you were guys, about a half a second away from getting to the Final Four.
That's exactly right, a half a second. But, boy, is that a long, long half second.
It sure was. What an incredible game that Carson Edwards played Purdue. All four of the regional finals this weekend were fabulous games, and I really thought Purdue had that game won.
It was just a fantastic couple of games down in the South Regional there.
Oh, yeah, the Tennessee game was something.
And I don't know this for a fact, but I did have somebody tell me that they had voted that Purdue game, that final game, was the second best game in tournament history. Behind, of course, the famous Christian Laettner game, which you're never going to take that one away.
No.
But boy, you could just, I remember turning over to other games and thinking how boring it was compared to those games you saw down there in the South.
And how about Boiler Nation? Louisville, Tony Bennett, the coach of Virginia, afterwards said we were basically playing a road game, and they really were.
That's what he said. Yeah. Well, it was good, but I guess we. Didn't have much time to to enjoy those that season, and it's time to move on to the hardball.
Yep. So here we are, glorious sunshine. It's nice and warm in the press box. Middle 50s today. The wind has started to whip up, and you look at the fans out here in the bleachers. It's a little on the chilly side out there, but not too bad for baseball for opening day.
Well, compared to what opening day was looking like on Saturday, I thought, well, we try to bring LaPorte down here, and that never seems to work very well. But they are going to return, so that'll be good.
Yep. Scheduling note: LaPorte will be coming here on Saturday for a doubleheader. So the game originally scheduled for Twin Lakes has been postponed. That'll be made up later on in the season. They made it up late in the year last year, just before the sectional. We anticipate that may be something that happens, but LaPorte will be here Saturday for a doubleheader here at Jim Turner Field beginning about 11 a.m. And there are the boys in blue. So we're seeing some umpires. We got an opponent. I think we might get a game of baseball in here today. Yeah,
all I got to do is learn who these players are this year, because there's just almost a wholesale set of changes in the Logansport lineup because of such a high graduation rate from last year.
Yep, losing 8 starters or 7. Jacob Cox and Tucker Platt, the only 2 regulars that got a lot of playing time. And Jacob Cox will be on the mound tonight, and Tucker in his familiar spot at shortstop.
Yeah, what a contrast from basketball to baseball with those guys being seniors on that basketball team. Now we turn around, and now there's far and few between on this baseball squad here.
Yep, and so speaking of the Bears, their batting lineup is as follows, leading up, and the pitcher is Jacob Cox, batting second in right field, Will Bennett, hitting third baseman Mike Meadows, hitting fourth, the left fielder Drake McLaughlin, batting fifth, catcher Ethan Denny, hitting sixth, in center field is Charlie O'Connor, batting seventh, the designated hitter C.J. Hallam, hitting eighth, at first base Jackson Crowd, and batting ninth and playing second base Gavin Smith. As we mentioned, Tucker Platt not in the batting order, dealing with an injury, Steve, I guess. A muscle in his lower left abdomen. Is that what you heard, or
something like that? Yeah, we're twisting. When you're batting, you got to twist that body. And Ethan was pointing over to Tucker's side, where it was exactly. But I guess he's going to give it a go in the field. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the report that we got that he can do everything but bat. He can field. He can run the bases, and he may be called upon to be an emergency runner, but. So hopefully we can get him healthy soon. But these 2 teams are right back at it tomorrow in Lafayette.
Yeah, not much time to rest for Tucker.
Yep. And so the stadium is still in place down there in Lafayette, at least for this season, from what we've been told.
Lou says it's there and they're playing.
Okay.
But it's a mess.
Okay.
Yes. So it's not going to be your what you expect from good old traditional Loeb Stadium down there in Lafayette, but we'll give it a try.
Yep. So we will be there. Tomorrow night. The 5:30 start time. We'll be on the pregame show at about 5:20, and then again that doubleheader against LaPorte on Saturday. A game that was postponed, and we saw the forecast coming Saturday morning. I said, well, the field will drain very well, but I think the cold had a little A good thing it was canceled. We had some white stuff on later on that day.
Yeah, exactly right. Boy, when I saw that, yes. It would have been very fitting for a little team to come down and see that snow again. Yeah.
But they will be here on Saturday and now for the Lafayette Jeff batting order. Leading off, the center fielder, Caleb Copen. Batting second at shortstop is Jacob Walker. Hitting third, the left fielder, Kalani Washington. Batting fourth and hitting the designated hitter spot, Christian Maggio. Batting fifth at third base, Cole Bridge. Hitting sixth, the first baseman, T.J. Preston. Batting seventh and on the mound for the Broncos is Matthew Copen. Batting eighth, the catcher, Brady Preston. And batting ninth is Zion Austin in right field. Will Anderson not in the batting order. He will be the Broncos' starting second baseman. We were talking to Lou, and looks like the Broncos have got a couple games in already so far here in the early going of the season.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that traditionally goes Tennessee. I think every time I've talked to them, that's where they end up going. They didn't fare real well. So we don't know whether it's more of a Jeff or who their opponents were.
Right.
But it sounded like they must have played some pretty good competition. But they did go 0-4, I guess. But it still gives you a leg up on somebody that hasn't played a game.
Absolutely.
They've already got some of those little boobles, bobobs, out of the way. Going to probably go through that tonight and tomorrow night. A little bit.
And so, as we talked about, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the tragic accident that took place earlier this school season that affected the community in a major way. And it, unfortunately, is going to affect this Berries baseball team this year.
Certainly is. I mean, I know me and you personally, I know I haven't. You probably didn't either get a chance to see Audie Myers actually even play.
Right.
Because with our schedules, we really only got time for the varsity games. But sure sounded like he had an inside line to be a starting outfielder, probably starting center fielder, and really be a contributor to the team. And then Gmo just made the decision on his own that he just couldn't put himself through this.
Right.
So you got to respect those decisions.
Yep.
And so there's from this depleted team that's not going to get to play this year.
All right, we will step aside for a break. When we return, we'll have the first pitch here at opening field. There's more to come from Logan Sport.
Berries baseball on WSAL is presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group with Mike Anderson GM on the east side of Logansport. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Get a Chevy at Mike Anderson with award-winning dependability year after year after year after year. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag with American-made appliances and service you can depend on long after the sale. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. It's almost time for the first pitch of Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Three, two, one. Oh no. Which button am I?
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
Alongside Steve Clary, Joe Stats, back at Jim Turner Field here in Logansport, opening day for the 2000. There's a pretty successful season last year. Steve, unfortunately, ran into a very good Zionsville team in the sectional, and the season ended, I think, a little sooner than the.
Oh yeah, we end up with a real good season. Actually, played a lot of competition, and boy, nothing like drawing one of the best teams right out of the gate, which seems like we have been doing for a while.
Yep. So the Berries' new look lineup, as we talked about. At first base is Jackson Crowd. Gavin Smith is at second base. Tucker Platt at shortstop. Mike Meadows is the third baseman. Outfield left to right. Drake McLaughlin left. Charlie O'Connor is center in center field, and Will Bennett in right field. Ethan Denny, the catcher, and on the mound is Jacob Cox. And anxious to get a look at Ethan Denny. Heard great things about him on the JV squad a year ago.
Well, he's certainly been waiting his turn patiently, and this is a year that I believe he's, going to be given the keys to the. And I'm just hoping come through. He's a confident kid. He's just such a good kid. He'll give you everything he's got. So yeah, I'm looking for good things from Ethan back there, and really help this pitching staff. Although we do have some experience out there. It's not like we're completely
that's true
out of water here.
So the home team is wearing black with red and white. The road team wearing black with red and white. So we'll try to keep it straight here as we get underway. Here's the first pitch of the game from Jacob Cox. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 5:54, the official start time. So just a couple minutes after the original scheduled start time of 5:30. So it is 1-0 on Caleb Copen. Here's one hit foul down the third base side out of play. Count evens up at 1-1. And that was a defensive swing on that one, so good. That's a good sign early for Jacob Cox. He had Copen off balance on just the second pitch of the night. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Broncos center fielder, Caleb Copen. Cox gets the sign. Pitch just missed inside. Good-looking breaking pitch. Didn't miss by much. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Outfield pretty much straight away on the leadoff hitter, Caleb Copen. Then he gives Jacob Cox the sign. Pitch on the way. Here's one off the end of the bat toward third. Big hop to Mike Meadows. Throw across the diamond is in the dirt. Gets past Jackson Crowd and reaching base safely on the air. But look at Ethan Denny hustling down there all the way to back that throw up. So looks like Meadows had some time, but
well, I think he relaxed just a little bit too much, actually. One thing you don't want to do down there at third, and he's a young kid. He didn't get to play a whole lot well, he played sparingly with the varsity, but I think he's still going to be an outstanding ball player before he gets out of this high school.
But that leadoff from the left side of the plate got that extra step toward first base, and I'm with you. I think he relaxed just a little bit. Once he looked up, realized he had to put a little extra on it.
Those 2 things you just mentioned, you gotta remind yourself in your head. Lefty, leadoff man, get the ball.
So the Broncos have a man on via an error. Pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Denny. Does not allow that runner to advance. It is 1 ball and no strikes with the brand new scoreboard here at Jim Turner Field. That's nice.
It's fancy. I like it. I mean, it's pretty much the same shape, but it's well, those bulbs sure stick right out, don't they?
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's Jacob Cox. That is a perfectly executed bunt, and reaching safely will be Jacob Walker. I don't think he was bunting for a base hit, but boy, he placed that one absolutely perfectly, and the Broncos have their first 2 batters on. So a bunt single from Jacob Walker. Got it past Coxie on his follow-through, falling toward first base, and it went just past him on the third base.
By much, and boy, that was frustrating. He looked down at it and couldn't do anything about it. It was already by him. Probably missed it by about a foot, maybe.
So the Broncos have something going. First and second. Nope. Third place at Kalani Washington into the plate. Here's a high chopper toward third. Mike Meadows makes a nice play, steps on third. A throw to first is in the turf again. Good stop that time from Jackson Crowd. Does not allow the runners to advance, but they did get the lead runner to the Berries. And that was not an easy play, Steve. That took a big hop, and Meadows didn't have a lot of time to get to the bag before the speedy Copen to get that out.
Yeah, I think some of the sentiment up here, and I think I agreed that maybe he should have just kept that ball in his glove. And so far he's thrown a couple of balls to first base from across the field, down low, a little bit too low.
Good news for the Berries. That one was a nice big hop in front of Jackson Crowd, so he was able to handle that one and not allow the runners to advance. So the force remains in effect, first and second with 1 out now. And the first pitch to designated hitter Christian Maggio misses in. and at no strike. Logan Sport and Lafayette Jeff just underway. Opening night here at Jim Turner Field. Here's the pitch. Misses just off the plate outside. Didn't miss by much.
No, but I like his the way he's doing it. He's so far already just to 3 batters. He's moving in and out.
Yep, absolutely. 2 balls and no strikes to Kalani Washington. Pitch on the way. Chopper in the hole towards shorts. Backhanded by Tucker Platt, and he's unable to get it out of his glove to throw anywhere. So everybody is safe. And that was going to be a tough play.
Base hit.
So an infield single, because I'm not sure if Tucker would have had a play anyway, even if he was able to make that transition from the glove to his hand with some pretty good speed out there for Lafayette Jeff on the bases.
Well, he could have kept the guy from officially getting the hit, but I'm not so sure. I'm not like you. It had to have been perfect, and it was a tough play.
Here's a high chopper on the right side of the infield. Good hop by Jackson Crowd. Throw as everybody is safe. Looked like maybe Jacob Cox was late getting to the... Perhaps Jackson initial play wanted to try and get that out at home, which you obviously want to do, but by the time there was no play there, and by the time he spun over toward first base, no chance. So everybody is safe again, and the Broncos have a run in here in the top half of the first inning.
The ball hasn't been hit out of the infield yet, has it?
No, it has not. And I don't think the ball has been hit hard yet either.
Not really, no. They're getting a couple of really high choppers, and that one really hurt. That was higher than the one that went down the Meadows earlier. And, for Jackson down there.
Oh, yeah.
You got to turn in a court, and with all these black jerseys, who you picking up?
Exactly. Here's a pitch over strikes.
I think we need to check with what they're going to wear tomorrow night and make sure we wear the opposite, because that was just a confusion play.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure. And he may not have known where Jacob was as opposed to the base runner.
That's right.
Here's a good changeup out. One was Preston. 1 ball and 1 strike. The bases are loaded with just 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. The Broncos already with a run in, 1 run on 3 hits. So here is the 1 ball and 1 strike pitch. Good changeup hit high into the air. Infield fly rule, if the ball is fair, it's drifting into foul territory, and Ethan Denny cannot make the play on that one. It looked like maybe the wind took that away from him. It looked like Ethan had that. It was camped under it and had an easy play, and the ball seemed to just continue to carry away from him.
Well, let's put a little asterisk by that. Well, that could be an error.
Oh, yeah.
I think I give it to him right now, but definitely a catchable ball. I think he needs nonchalant at that.
Yeah, I think so.
You got to be 100% on these things.
Here is the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So again, the Broncos.
Jacob could have caught that ball. He was right there. Personally, I would always rather give it to the fielder over the catcher. Not taking anything away from catchers.
Oh, no. And here's one ripped into right center field for a solid base hit. It's going to get all the way to the wall, and this will clear the bases. 3 runs are going to go score, and Preston's on his way to second. He'll hold up there. A bases loaded double drives in 3 runs.
Just made us pay for those miscues on the infield.
Yep, so there's 3 runs following that drop pop-up on a bullet hit by T.J. Preston. So you mentioned that the Broncos hadn't hit the ball hard or gotten out of the infield. They made up for it on that one with a bases clearing double by Preston. And it just like that is Lafayette Jeff on top. 4-0. Still just 1 man out here in the top of the first with Preston on at second. And now Matthew Copen, the pitcher, with a fastball catches the outside corner at the letters. 0-1. Good pitch that time from Jacob Cox. So 4 runs on 4 hits here for the Broncos here in the top half of the first inning.
Could have been out of the inning about 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Here's one hit sharply toward third. Good by Meadows. Throw across the diamond is caught by Jackson Crowd. The second out, advancing to third on the throw is T.J. Preston. So he is there now with 2 outs, and that will bring to the plate the catcher, Brady Preston, the Broncos' 8th hitter to come to the plate here in the top half of the first inning.
Well, so far, there's going to be a lot of coaching this season.
Oh, yeah.
There's already enough for about 15 minutes worth between innings right now.
I think so. There's a good changeup, swung on and missed. Preston out in front of that one, 0-1 on the Broncos catcher.
And it's not as hard as is the mental part so far.
Here's a pitch for a called strike 2. Good fastball at the knees that time from Jacob Cox. Quickly ahead of the Broncos catcher, 0-2. Sure does.
He's only had one ball hit.
Yep.
And that kid shouldn't even been up to bat.
Here's one hit in the air in the left field. It is going to drop in for a base hit, get all the way to the fence. Extra bases for Preston as he will cruise into second with a stand-up double as T.J. Preston scores the Broncos' 5th run of this first inning. And that was on an 0-2 pitch. I know Jacob didn't want to give him that hit of a pitch ahead in the count 0-2.
No, he
just missed with his location, unfortunately.
Yep, that's probably the worst location of these first 9 or 8 batters so far. Just got up a little bit high. And he'd been pretty well.
Yep, he sure had. So here's the right fielder, Zion Austin, the 9th hitter to come to the plate for the Broncos. Here's a pop-up, foul back, 0-1.
Well, certainly not the way you want to get out of the gate on opening night. But a lot of teaching points here.
Yeah. Yep, no question. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Good breaking pitch that time. Zion was tied up in a knot on that one. He was all sorts of fooled on that. Good breaking pitch from Jacob Cox. So he's ahead now 0-2 for the second consecutive hitter. Ahead in the count 0-2. Let's see. Looks like Ethan is setting up outside and a fastball called. Strike. Wow. And the side is retired. But a good first inning for the Broncos. 5 runs on 5 hits. There was one Barry error, and the Broncos leave 1 man on base. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Lafayette Jeff 5. The Berries coming to bat. There's more to come. Live from Logan Sport.
Berries Baseball on WSAL is presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. With over 2,000 employees operating from their Logansport facility, processing pork and poultry to feed millions of people around the world. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank, serving the community since 1934. Security Federal is here for you. Security Federal, courtesy, safety, flexibility, member FDIC. We thank you for listening to Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Clary, Joe Stetz back at Jim Turner Field. It was a first inning to forget for Logansport. They gave up 5 runs. So they're quickly behind 5-0. But as we mentioned, Steve, you were impressed with Jacob Cox, as was I. Had pretty good stuff, good location, only 2 balls hit hard. He deserved a better fate than what he got in that top half of the first inning.
Oh, yeah, he certainly did. Could have easily came away with no runs scored if we made the right order there. But that's behind us, and they can do the same thing to them.
Yep. The good news for the Berries, they have all 7 of their at-bats to try and make up this 5-run deficit.
Yeah.
So the top 3 batters, Jacob Cox, Will Bennett, and Mike Meadows to start off the season for the Berries. Absolutely crushed one a year ago, a home run. So he had a dramatic improvement as the season went on behind the plate and in the batter's box.
At the beginning of the season, he struggled. He did come on very well.
Obviously, he must have done something in spring training to warrant a leadoff spot here for the Berries. Takes a look at ball 1 ball and no strikes.
In fact, Jacob ended the season about the 4th, 5th best hitting percentage. He had a .306 average last year. So on the team.
Wow, very well. Good season for Jacob Cox as he looks at a called strike on the inside corner. Count even now 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's one inside and low. 2 balls and a strike. As it is Matthew Copen, a pitcher with an unorthodox delivery. Starts from the stretch and kind of pitch in the turf low. 3 balls and a strike. So Jacob Cox, we'll see what Coach Turner. I think ordinarily might give Jacob the green light, but down this many runs, needing base runners, and he was taken all the way, and the pitch is inside for a ball 4. So a leadoff walk for the Berries. So Jeff got their leadoff man on in the top of the first, and the Berries do the same here in the bottom half of the first inning. So he's aboard, and that will bring left-handed hitting Will Bennett into the order for the Berries. Will getting the start in right field tonight for Logansport. Here's the pitch in the turf. 1 ball and no strikes.
Will had not a lot of appearances last year. I think I had him down for about 28 plate appearances. He finished with a 286 average, though, in limited time.
Here's one into the air, into left field. It is sinking fast, but it is caught. A nice running catch by the Broncos left fielder, Kalani Washington. As that was tailing away from him as well. He made a nice backhand stop. So
yeah, he did. I thought off the bat of Will, I thought he was going to get that one to go down and maybe even slip past that left fielder.
Yep. So
he hit it hard.
Yep, good, making good contact, but just a tough out for Will Bennett. That's how his 2019 season. And that will bring up third place hitter Mike Meadows, the Berries' third baseman. Jacob Cox on with 1 out. Pitch in the turf. Ball 1. Good stop by Brady Preston. Preston had an RBI double in the top half of the first inning for the Broncos, who lead 5-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. Here's a high pop fly toward first base. It is drifting out of play, so the count will even up. All in 1 strike.
You can see that potential of Mike Meadows even on that foul ball. That was kind of an inside-out pitch and didn't get a lot. Went out on the right side, but had a little sting on it. He's got some pop in that bat.
Oh, he sure does.
That's a shame that he got hurt going down the stretch last year. He could have been such a contributor throughout the tournament season.
Fastball misses inside. 2 balls and a strike. But he's a quick hitter because he was able to get back on the tennis team in the fall. So that was it was good to see that he was able to get back so quickly. 2 balls and a strike. 2 Meadows. Here's a slow roller toward the Berries dugout. Count evens up now. 2 balls and 2 strikes with Jacob Cox on at first base and 1 out for the Berries here in the bottom half of the first inning, trailing 5-0 here on opening night at Jim Turner Field. Copen from the stretch gets his sign. Pitch misses inside. The count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we'll see what Coach Turner decides to do. Does he start the runner to try and stay out of a double play? We'll see. Is going. There's a sharp ground ball into left field for a base hit. Jacob Cox is going to on his way to third base, and he will slide in safely. So first and third for the Berries.
Good call.
So Mike Meadows with a solid single.
Putting that man in motion paid off.
And I think that shows a great deal of confidence that Coach Turner has to be able to make contact.
Well, that and here you are, your starting pitcher is the leadoff man. Right. We're asking him to run bases too.
So here is the left fielder, Drake McLaughlin.
Oh, there's something different about him. Nothing coming out of that helmet.
There's a pitch over but low. Good stop by the catcher, Brady Preston. 1 ball and no strikes. Lafayette Jeff 5, Logansport nothing. The Berries, though, with men. Jacob Cox at third, Mike Meadows at first with just 1 out. Pitch on the way to McLaughlin, fouled sharply behind first base. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. It looks like the fans gathered outside are not getting a whole lot warmer. Seems like it's getting colder as the night progresses. There's a shot toward shortstop, 1 hop to the shortstop to second for 1. The first in time for a double play, and a tough break that time for the Berries. McLaughlin right to the shortstop. Taylor made double play, and Lafayette Jeff gets out of the inning. Logansport, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave a man. We go to the second inning. It is Lafayette Jeff 5, Logansport nothing. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
Berries Baseball on WSAL. Presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group. With Mike Anderson, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in downtown Logansport. Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. See how this truck is a real game changer. And take a test drive. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag, featuring Whirlpool Appliances, the largest manufacturer of appliances in the world. American made, with service you can depend on long after the sale. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. Celebrating 70 years of service to Logansport. AM 1230 WSAL.
Steve Clare, Joe Stats Package in Turner Field, 1 inning in the books here on opening night 2019. Berries had a promising inning, and Drake McLaughlin hit the ball sharply, but right to the shortstop for Lafayette Jeff, and it was a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, so the Berries unable to score runs in that first inning.
Yeah, we couldn't even get that liner to interfere with the umpire standing right there.
Right.
I thought maybe he was going to help us out, but didn't happen.
So for the Broncos, they're back to the top of the order as they scored 5 runs, brought 9 men to the plate in the top half of that first inning. They have a 5-0 lead. And we'll see what the Berries can get those. Maybe it's opening night jitters. Maybe they got that out of the way in that first inning. We certainly hope so.
Yeah.
So it is Caleb Copen who reached base sharply, and he hits one into right field, and it is going to go all the way to the fence past Will Bennett. On his horse is Caleb Copen. He is rounding second, and he is going to make his way to third, and he will be in for a stand-up turn. They're going to wave him home as the ball gets away from the relay man, and that is
going to be an error.
But a triple with a one-base error.
Yeah.
And we saw the speed of Copen on full display on that one as he got around the base pass in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, boy.
So that's definitely not the start that Coach Turner and the Berries wanted. And then a lot of mistakes so far here in the early going for Logansport. And now
just trying to figure out, do you give the error on the, have to be the throw probably.
I would think so, yeah.
Wasn't a terrible throw. It was just a little short and short hopped your relay man. And I think we know from all those injuries that Will's had in his career, I know he's not got the strongest arm, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge out there this year.
So meanwhile, Jacob Walker, the Broncos shortstop in the batter's box. Two balls and no strikes. Here's a breaking pitch for a called strike one. Balls and 1 strike. Lafayette Jeff 6. Logansport nothing. The Broncos batting here with the bases empty. Nobody out in the top half of the second inning. Pitch misses inside. 3 balls and a strike. So that's important for the Berries to keep their heads up. Still a lot of baseball left here in this game. There's the 3-1 pitch from Jacob Cox. Catches the inside corner for a called strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Looked like Walker was ready to make his way toward first base, trying to talk the umpire into calling ball 4, but that caught the inside corner.
Yeah, nice little bit late breaking pitch. There we go.
There's the payoff pitch for a called strike 3 for out number 1. So that is out number 1. Second strikeout of the night for Jacob Cox. Both have been called looking. So third place hitter Kalani Washington steps in. Reach base via fielder's choice. His first time up and scored a run. So Jacob Cox gets the sign from Denny. Pitch on the way. Ground ball toward third. Good play by Mike Meadows. Strong throw across the diamond.
There we go. I like
and
that
is
throw.
out number 2. Yep, chest high delivery that time to Jackson Crowd. But Meadows has been a busy man down there at third base.
He's had some plays already
Yes,
now.
he has. That's good for a kid. Like we said, didn't get a whole lot of varsity time last year. This is a baptism under fire.
Well, he's fielded all everything.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's got through him or by him. Made that one kind of bad throw, but wasn't the fielding part.
So here's Christian Maggio, the Broncos designated hitter, batting with the base chopper toward the Berries dugout. Foul. 0-1. Maggio. So
it might be about time for Jacob to change speeds a little bit more. Give him something off speed, and he's coming through the order the second time now.
Right. There's an off-speed pitch, and he got Maggio out in front of that one for a swinging strike 2.
Yeah, that's exactly why you do that.
Oh yeah.
You get him back on that fastball, and that little down and away may twist him into the ground there.
All right, we'll see what Jacob has to offer here on this 0-2 delivery. Hanging breaking pitch, but a swing and a miss. And the side is retired. The Broncos get a run on a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom half of inning number 2. It's Lafayette Jeff 6, Logansport nothing. This is Berries baseball on WSAL.
Barry's Baseball on WSAL is presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. Tyson has become an iconic image in Logansport. As the largest employer in Cass County, Tyson Fresh Meats is also a working partner in the Midwest and Canada, with hog transports coming to Logansport every day from hundreds of miles away. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. Join Security Federal for our annual Ownership Day on Friday, May 31st. The community is invited for lunch and fun. Look for more details. Security Federal, member FDIC. This is Barry's Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Joe Stetz and Steve Clary back. Field, we have moved to the bottom half of the second inning. The Berries down 6-0. Logansport will bring 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. Here in the second, Ethan Denny, Charlie O'Connor, and C.J. Hallam to go against Matthew Copen. Berries had a couple of hard hit balls in that first inning, but nothing to show for it, so we'll see what sophomore catcher Ethan Denny can do for the Berries leading off. Here at the bottom of the second inning. First pitch swing, a high chopper behind second base. Takes a big hop over the second baseman and into center field for a leadoff single. Will Alderson was there in plenty of time, was ready to field it and make the throw, and that big hop off the turf gives Denny a leadoff single.
Yeah, he had no chance at all.
No.
Even if he'd got that. But, boy, the ground must be still somewhat hard because, boy,
yes, we
choppers
have
today so far, really in the second inning.
First pitch gets past the catcher, and on his way to second is Denny. The catcher having trouble picking up the baseball, so Denny is going to try to get to third, and he will slide in safely. So great hustle that time from Denny. He assumed nothing. As the wild pitch got past the catcher, he didn't assume nothing. He sprinted to second base, and when the catcher could not pick up the baseball, he was able to get to third, so he is there with nobody out. And Charlie O'Connor, Barry's center fielder, takes a fastball inside. 2 balls and no strikes. And I know it's early, Steve, but the Berries have to get here in the second inning, already down 6-0, especially with nobody out. There's a pitch over but low. 3 balls and no strikes.
Got a little early season pressure for the bottom half of the order here, but you're right. This would be a huge thing just to get that first run home and get that 0 off the board.
That's right. 3-0, taking all the way was O'Connor. The fastball misses inside, ball 4. Berries have him at the corners, first and third, nobody out. And here's the designated hitter, C.J. Hallam. Hallam in at the designated hitter spot with Tucker Platt's injury, unable to hit. Tucker is in the field at shortstop, so we'll see what DH C.J. Hallam can do with first and Logansport here in the bottom of the second. Pitch is missed again. 1 ball in a row out of the strike zone from Copen. Situation, I think, where you take until you see a strike with the pitcher. Struggling to find the strike zone.
Oh, there
we go. Like I said, swing away and hit one into right field for a base hit. Will score a run.
Good deal.
So solid hingle that time for Hallam. He was sitting on a fastball. Figured Copen's having trouble finding the strike zone. He's just going to try and get one over, which he did. And Hallam made no mistake as he ripped it solidly into right field for a single. So first and second, nobody out. The Berries have a run in.
Well, I like the fact that he didn't try to do too much with it. Just took that pitch out over the lined it right between first and second. Beautiful. Nice hit.
And it is 6-1. And here's Jackson Crowd. Pitch catches the inside corner for a strike. And there it is, the first Berries run on the new scoreboard.
That's right.
Registered by Dina Dominic. So there it is. It's now official.
Officially no shutout.
That's right. 0-1 to Jackson Crowd. Breaking pitch. Good pitch that time from Copen. One of the few breaking pitches we've seen out of him in the early going.
Exactly, and that was a nice one. Boy, why me, huh?
Exactly.
Man, he hadn't thrown one all night.
Yeah, he wasn't looking for that, so he's quickly in the hole now, 0-2. So Jackson needs to shorten the swing and try to make contact. Pitch misses inside. Good fastball. Good idea that time from Copen to go back with the hard stuff after the breaking pitch, but his location was off inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. O'Connor at second, Hallam at first. Nobody out for the Berries here in the bottom of the second inning. Logansport with a run in. trailing 6-1 here in the early going. Here's a pitch, just missed down low. Jackson crowd looked like he wanted to swing at that one. It was close.
It was tough for him to hold back.
Oh, yeah.
It was tantalizing.
Yeah, that was a good pitch by Copeland, but it just missed. The count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. It might have been the same location as the last one, and Jackson was able to hold off that previous one, but not this time, so he is out number 1 for the Berries. And here's Gavin Smith, Berries starting second baseman. Freshman who was a star for Steve Isaac's freshman basketball team for the Berries this season. Takes the pitch up high. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, O'Connor at second, Hallam at first. 1 out. Logansport trailing 6-1 here in the bottom of the second. Kevin Smith, slow ground ball towards shortstop. Fielded cleanly. Throw to second, out for 1. Into first, not in time. And they're going to try to send the runner home as it gets away from the first baseman, and the run will score. So good hustle that time from O'Connor, and good aggressive coaching that time from Coach Turner over there at third base to get that run in. So second run of the inning in. On at first base after the fielder's choice.
See, that was O'Connor that scored, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the importance, Steve, of putting that ball in play.
Yes.
Wasn't hit sharply, but you were able to get...
and actually, we're going to have to give that error to first baseman, I believe.
I think so.
He wouldn't have scored without that error.
There's Jacob Cox, first pitch swinging, ground ball to the second baseman, and Alderson throws to first in time, and the side is retired. But the Berries, though, get a couple of runs on 2 hits. They leave a man. We go to the third. Lafayette Jeff 6, Logansport 2. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
This is WSAL, and you're listening to Berries Baseball, presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group. With Mike Anderson GM on the east side of Logansport, baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Get a Chevy Silverado at Mike Anderson, the strongest and most dependable Silverado ever. It's one heck of a truck. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag. With American-made appliances and service you can depend on long after the sale. Remember, good service isn't expensive, it's priceless. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. We hope that you're enjoying this broadcast of Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Clary, back at Jim Turner Field, we have moved to the third inning. Lafayette Jeff on top, scoring 5 runs in the first, another in the second. Berries coming back with 2 in the bottom half of the second inning. So goes without saying, the Jake just needs to keep Lafayette Jeff off the scoreboard and give his hitters a chance to get back in this game.
Just chip away a little bit. Still very early in the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, I hadn't noticed. I was just going to say something. Look at the set of bleachers. We got new sets of bleachers this year. Down the right past third and first base dugouts in the right field, left field area. You know, the big advantage of that, of course, is people that like to sit out there, they're closer to the umpire.
That's right. So Cole Bridge will lead it off. He via single his first time up. Breaking ball misses down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Cole Bridge, and Matthew Copeland due up this inning for the Broncos. 5, 6, and 7 in the Lafayette Jeff batting order. These 2 teams will do battle tomorrow from Loeb Stadium. We'll be on the air with the pregame show at about 5:20. First pitch set for 5:30 tomorrow. Here's a ground foul right at the plate off the instep of Cole Bridge. Feels good, but especially on a cool night like this, that hurts a little bit more. Bridge looks to be okay, but he's taking a couple steps to walk it off. Is that boy, that hurts.
See it in his face.
And we were told that Loeb Stadium is under construction and may not be available next year. So,
I thought it was this year.
That's right. I remember you talking about that last year.
I thought it was going to be unavailable, but they are working on it. It's just it must be off the field stuff.
Right.
So there might be a game we just might have able to watch it.
Yeah, so we might want to bring some foul weather gear. Might want to bring some some sweatshirt and gloves. We might be outside, which we got to do last year. Had a blast but we had nice weather when we did that. So
yeah, we did.
Here's a pitch swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. At Peru, we got to go outside, and at Richmond, they weren't expecting us. We were outside, but it was great weather for both of those games. Here's the 2-ball and a 2-strike pitch to Bridge. Swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher, Denny. He'll have to throw him out at first, which he does. Strikeout number 4 for Jacob Cox. And that is out number 1 for Lafayette Jeff. That will bring to the plate T.J. Preston, who had the big blow, the bases loaded double his last time up.
That was another one of those suggestions. I tell you about suggestions. This guy I saw on the Stars for speeding up the game. No drop third strike. It's just, you drop it, sorry about your luck. Or you swing and miss, you're sorry about your luck.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never thought about that one.
No. There's a fastball, misses, and no strikes to Preston. The umpire had all that gear. Strong throwback to Jacob Cox, but Jacob was able to field it on a hop on the throwback from the umpire. 1-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses away. 2 balls and no strikes. But Jacob Cox is settling in quite nice after that. Retired to the last 4 after a couple of hard hit balls.
He actually put pretty decent first inning anyway.
Yes, he did.
Personally was. There we go.
Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Broncos starting pitcher in the on-deck circle. He'll bat after Preston. Looks at good pitch that time. He pulled the string on that one. He fooled.
Yeah, looked
Preston. About a 58-footer.
He thought he's take one off the ground and try to smack it.
Yeah, TJ obviously saw something that wasn't. So that count even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way from Cox. Breaking pitch misses outside. The count goes full. 3-2 to the Lafayette Jeff Broncos first baseman T.J. Preston. Logansport 2. Jeff batting here in the top of the 3rd with 1 out and the bases empty. 3-2 pitch misses outside. Ball 4 from Jacob Cox, I believe.
I think that's his first.
Yep, I was about to say. Yeah. I think that's his first free pass issued. And the way Preston hit the ball last time, maybe not the worst thing that could have happened to
that's true.
To the Berries. And that will bring up pitcher Matthew Cope out to 3rd, his first time up. 0 for 1 on the day. Preston on it first with 1 out. Got a nice size lead over there. Jacob Cox will have to keep an eye on him. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. Good breaking pitch from Jacob Cox. Got Copen out in front of that one. 0-1 on the Broncos pitcher.
After looking at that swing, I think I'd keep him coming.
I agree.
Throw him till you can't.
There you go. Here's the 0-1 pitch for a called strike. Looked like he went caught the outside corner.
He pulled that was a popper now.
Yeah, that looked like a pitch that you could hit, so perhaps Copen was not looking for that fastball.
That was a good combination of off speed and then hot fastball on that outside corner.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Up foul tip. Denny unable to hang on, so Copen remains alive after the foul tip. Count remains 0-2.
0-2, yeah.
And a reminder, the doubleheader versus LaPorte that was rained out last Saturday will be made up this Saturday, April the 6th. And the Berries single game against Twin Lakes will be postponed and made up later on in the season. We'll pass that information along to you as soon as we get a make-up date. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Misses outside 1-2. Good stop that time from Ethan Denny, as that was well off the plate, but he moved that body in front of it.
Preston was getting a little bit of a running lead down there. Jacob needs to step off, toss one over. We don't need to get this guy in scoring position. Boy, he's...
Sure was. Throwback just down to first is not in time as the pitch misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, but yeah, I was watching him. He had, again, another running lead taken off on that one.
Well, somebody needs to be talking to him. If he doesn't see it, baseman, your catcher, they should be pointing that out. There he goes.
There he goes. He's got that running start, and here's a ground ball. Hit and run executed perfectly by Jeff into left field for a base hit. On his way to 3rd is Preston, and that is now 1st and 3rd. Following the single from Copen.
Yeah, perfectly hit.
If he'd just stepped off, Steve, because as soon as stretch, he took off.
He had him. He could have had him.
Yep, easily.
And there again, there's some coachable moments there. I would think we have enough experience on the field right now that kind of thing should not be happening. Although we've seen over the years that just don't feel comfortable, don't like throwing over there because they don't feel comfortable.
Right. And that's fine, but that's, you can simply step off the mound too. That's a way to slow down the base runners as well without having to throw it over.
Yeah. Just ask John Lester. Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh my. Pitch in the dirt. I was hoping to get down to second, so now the Broncos have runners on at second and third with one out. And Brady Preston hit a RBI double his first time up. Batting now with two men in scoring position and just one out. Pitch down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Lafayette Jeff 6. Logansport 2. Was batting with men in scoring position, second and third, and one out here in the top half of the third inning. Good breaking pitch that time. Got Preston out in front of it, swung on and missed.
Jacobs had all 4 batters this inning, at least 2 balls on all 4 of them. He's down at the bottom of the order now. He just needs to throw strikes, and good things should happen.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, misses inside. Good stop again by Ethan Denny. Count goes 3 balls and a strike. As Steve mentioned, the bottom of the order is the 9th place hitter. Zion Austin is in the on-deck circle for the Broncos. But first, we'll see what Preston does with this 3-1 offering from Jacob Cox. Pitch on the way. Just missed out. Cox, he wanted that one, but it looked a little bit out of the strike zone. That's the second walk issued by Jacob, both coming here in this third inning, and now the bases are loaded. We got a courtesy runner. Zach McLaughlin will be a courtesy runner for the Broncos catcher, Brady Preston, so he is on at first.
Well, this is where you want a one-hopper back to your pitcher.
Austin struck out looking his last time up. Make a note of the courtesy runner at first base. With the bases loaded and one out here in the top of the third. This is a huge at-bat here in the early stages of this contest.
I don't think this is the kid that you're going to have to try to get your best fastballs by him. You just gotta throw strikes.
Here's the pitch right down the middle for a called strike and a good fastball from Jacob Cox. 0-1. There's Zion Austin. Again, struck out looking his last time up. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. I guess it's now evening here at Jim Turner Field. Here's the pitch. Good breaking. Good stop that time from Ethan Denny.
Real good job.
On the breaking. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's one of his strongest assets, Nathan's. He gets down and blocks it. He's not a big kid, but he's got the fundamentals.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's always been a catcher. I believe that's the only position pretty much he's done.
Fastball down and away and a good backhand stab that time from Ethan Denny. That had some velocity on it.
Yes, it did.
And he didn't have a lot of time to react. But he made it look routine, and that was anything but routine. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. Broncos 1 out. They're on top 6-2 here in the third inning.
Jacob.
Denny tried to frame it, tried to help his pitcher out, but that was just off the plate. And the count goes to 3-1 on Zion Austin. Here's a big pitch here in the early going for the Berries. Ground ball towards short. It's going to be a tough play for Tucker Platt. He bobbles it, and everybody is safe. I don't know if Tucker had to play anywhere, as he had to go deep. And it took a big hop off the turf. So another run scores. It is now 7-2 Lafayette Jeff, and the bases remain loaded. I think we're going to have to give an infield single on that one.
I think so. I was trying to figure out anything, but once again, it's that high hop, and Tucker, even if he fields it cleanly, which it just got into his glove and bounced right back out, I don't think there was a play.
No, I don't
to be had anywhere. Maybe at third, but that would have been the only possibility.
So we got a pitching change as Coach Turner has seen enough. So Jacob Cox deserved a better fate than what he got. But he did hurt himself a little bit here with some control issues here in this third inning by walking a couple of players. But perhaps so early in the season.
Well, it's for 49, 60 pitches. So, yeah, it's a decent share for only 3 and being in the third inning. And again, with a couple of games looming on the weekend.
That's right. Yep. First game of the season. The weather's not ideal right now, so a little on the cool side. So Drake McLaughlin will be the new Berries pitcher. So McLaughlin will come in from right field. From left field, beg your pardon. And Jacob Cox will go out to right field, and so we'll see what McLaughlin can do. And this is welcome to the varsity, young man. As you're going to come in with the bases loaded and just one out. And oh yeah, by the way, you're going to face the top of the order as well.
Yeah. By the way,
in a game your team's down 7-2. So.
And this leadoff man's already tripled and scored, and Jacob Walker in that second spot singled and scored. So, yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. It all starts by putting that ball over the plate, giving yourself a chance.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. It looks like that Will Bennett then moved over to left field. I believe that is Will out in left field. So from left to the mound, Jacob Cox from the mound to right field, and Will Bennett from right field over to left field. In a 7-2 Lafayette Jeff lead with the bases loaded. One out here in the top half of the third inning. And leadoff hitter Caleb Copen, who has great speed. We saw that on full display in both of his at-bats as he has reached base safely both times. So here's the first pitch from McLaughlin. Swing and a miss. Good pitch that time as Copen was out in front of that one. And he kept it down in the strike zone. That's what I liked about that pitch. From Copen, 0-1.
Yeah, you keep the ball down there, he's not going to be able to get it up in the air very well.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Took something off that fastball. Copen was out in front of that one. No, 0-2.
Well, that's a good sign. Just come in and throwing two strikes.
There you go. Yep. Just what you said. It all starts with getting the ball over the plate, and that's exactly what he's done on both of his pitches so far. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just missed. Outside and low.
Good teasing pitch.
Sure was. I was about to say that's a good 0-2 pitch to try and get Copen to chase. He held off and did not miss by much. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to center fielder Copen. Breaking pitch off the plate. Outside, 2-2. 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Lafayette Jeff. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Berries here in the top of the third with the bases loaded and 1 out for Lafayette Jeff. Here's a pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Denny. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And we'll see. Let's see how aggressive Lafayette Jeff wants to be here early in the season. They do have their leadoff man at the plate. Do they turn him loose with 3-2? We'll see. They do not. Pitch ball 4. So after a good start, it's a 4 pitches in a row outside of the strike zone and a walk brings in the run. As McLaughlin missed out of the zone. So here comes Jacob Walker to the plate.
Start over.
Yep. So it is now 8-2 Lafayette Jeff. There's the pitch from McLaughlin's. Fouled right at the plate. 0-1. On Jacob Walker, singled and scored a run in the first, struck out looking in the second. 1 for 2 on the day, but in the third inning and the top of the order already with their third at bat for the Broncos. Here's a good breaking pitch, dropped over the plate for a called strike 2. 0-2 on Jacob Walker. So see what McLaughlin can do here on this 0-2 offering. Here's one toward shortstop. Tucker Platt's only play I thought would be to first base. He flipped to second and not in time as the speedy Copen. We have seen his great speed on full display all 3 times up as he beat the relay throw to second base. And everybody safe once again on the fielder's choice, that time from Jacob Walker. So the Broncos have hit a couple balls hard, hit a couple balls not so hard, but in the right spot. And they now extend to a 9-2 lead. Here's a breaking pitch for a called strike 1 on Kalani Washington.
I think Tucker had in his mind all along that the play was going to be at second, but boy, that ball just did not travel there.
Oh, it died. Yeah, once it hit that turf, it really died. And Copen with great speed beat that throw to second. Here's a breaking pitch for a called strike 2. So McLaughlin's not in any trouble with the first 2 pitches.
Yeah.
He's been 0-2 on every hitter he has seen so far.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
he's got to finish it.
Yep. So we'll see what he can do on this one. Here's a high fly or pop fly right behind home plate.
Didn't see Drake a whole lot last year. Didn't see him on the mound at all. He got in a handful of games. Actually only got a hit that only appearance, though.
Here's one hit in the air into left field, and it is crushed. And Will Bennett's over Will Bennett's head, and it's going to be one hop off the fence, and this is going to clear the bases. 3 runs are going to score. Holding up at second will be Kalani Washington with another bases-loaded double for the Broncos, the second one they've had tonight. And it is now 12-2, Lafayette Jeff. That ball was crushed. So Lafayette Jeff with 6 runs in here in the 3rd inning, and
we
now
talked about
a 12-2 lead.
Talk about that 4-game experience they got over over us.
I think it's showing tonight.
I think it is.
So that will bring to the plate Christian Maggio. On a second and 1 out. Fouled straight back. Nothing and 1.
They've had quite a few good swings.
Yep. And this is a good learning experience for Drake McLaughlin. As we mentioned, 0-2 on every hitter he's faced so far, but just can't get that last one. There's a pitch, curveball over but low. Good stop by Ethan Denny. 1-1. Still just 1 out for the Broncos. And that was the leadoff hitter that struck out, and since then, 7 consecutive Broncos have reached base here in the 3rd. Here's a high pop fly into field. Under it is Charlie O'Connor. He'll make the catch for out number 2 in the 3rd inning. Runner bluffed, thought about advancing. He will hold up at second base.
2 outs in the inning, brings up number 5.
And that will bring up Cole Bridge. Bridge led off this inning with a strikeout. Things were looking good for the Berries at that time, but 8 batters later, 6 runs in, a man on at second base. It is 12-2 Lafayette Jeff. And here's Cole Bridge with a man on at second and 2 outs. Breaking pitch broke over the plate, but stayed high. 1 ball and no strikes. Kalani Washington on at second. 2 outs. The Broncos with 6 runs in here in the 3rd inning to take a 12-2 lead. Here's one in the hole toward short. Good stop by Tucker Platt. Long throw across the diamond is not in time. It was good stretch by Jackson Crowd.
Well, I know that had to hurt Tucker. You know, that was almost as bad as taking a swing with the bat. The way he had to backhand that ball and come another 180-plus degrees around to make a strong throw from deep short, and he threw the ball in the air.
Coach Turner's
just missed.
Coach comes out to ask if Tucker's okay. Tucker says he is. I'm surprised that Washington didn't try to score from third base on that long throw. But he remains at third. Maggio on at first. And here's pitch sharply hit toward second base. Preston fielded cleanly, and the side, the flip to second base, and the is retired. So Lafayette Jeff, though, with 6 runs in that inning. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd. It's Lafayette Jeff 12, Logansport 2. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
Berries Baseball on WSAL is presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. Tyson has invested millions of dollars into the Logansport facility, demonstrating its confidence in the workforce created in the Logansport region. Tyson Fresh Meats is proud to be operating in Cass County. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. Security Federal gives back, contributing over $120,000 to charitable causes in the communities we serve. When you bank with us, you give back. Thank you. Security Federal, member FDIC. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Perry, Joe Stetz, back at Jim Turner Field. We have moved to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and Lafayette Jeff pouring it on here in the early, going up 12-2, and our engineer Matthew Paul said that was a 20-minute half inning. So the Broncos were at the plate for a long time in that frame, scoring 6 runs to double their run total. They now lead 12-2.
Sometimes you can get 2 full innings in 20 minutes.
So 2, 3, and 4 for the Berries here in the 3rd. Will Bennett, Mike Meadows, and Drake McLaughlin, the 3 scheduled to face Copen in for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch is outside for a ball. Bennett hit the ball sharply his first time up, a sinking line drive, but a nice play by Kalani Washington in left field to retire him, so he is 0 for 1 on the night. Here's the pitch in the turf, 2-0 on Will Bennett. And a quick trip to the mound by Brady Preston.
I think if we a couple guys on here and there and move them around and don't give up some at bats, I think we could work on and get this guy out of here. I don't think this kid's beyond us at all.
Here's one fouled down the third base. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, I wonder if he is not the Broncos ace. As we mentioned, they played 4 games in Tennessee over the weekend, so he maybe out of necessity they're pitching.
He is a senior, I noticed, but
pitch misses up high, 3-1.
Of course, on our end of it, you just got to make sure you don't try to go out there and get 10 runs all at once.
Right. 3 balls and a strike to Will Bennett. Here's one hit softly toward third. Nice hop, though, by the Broncos' third base. Not in time. Will Bennett with a nice hustle down that first base side.
I'm glad I did right with it because I agree with him. He had to beat him all by a big toe.
So I'm not sure what's going on with the turf here so far in the early going. We've seen a couple balls just die as it hits the turf. Normally, it picks up speed, but we've had a lot of big hops, bigger than we're accustomed to. Bigger.
Which is contradictory to, that seems it's hard, and then you see plays like that, and you think it's nice and soft.
Yeah, but credit Will Bennett with some great hustle. And pitch misses inside, up and in, as Mike Meadows able to duck out of the way of that one. 1 ball and no strikes.
They didn't tuck a little real grass out there, did they, just for looks?
I don't think so. So here's the 1-0 pitch to Mike Meadows. Good stop that time from Ethan Denny. 2-0. Meadows with a single his first time up. And now we got another conference at the mound, and I think they're stalling as it looks like there's some activity down in that Lafayette Jeff bullpen.
Well, so far he's only thrown 1 across the plate out of 6 pitches, so you got to be a little more selective here. No matter what this score is, you still want to be disciplined at the plate.
Here's one ripped into center field, but right at the center fielder, and the catch is made.
Did he hit that ball on the nose?
Caleb Copen with a fine catch. And boy, you're right, Steve. He hit it on the nose. The hardest hit ball the Berries have hit tonight.
And man,
and nothing to show for it.
He darn near mistimed that jump.
Yep, sure did. It looked like that ball just kept carrying as it left the bat of Mike Meadows. Here's a swing and a miss from Drake McLaughlin. Hit into a double play his first time up. Hit the ball sharply, but right to the shortstop. It was a tailor-made double play that ended the Berries' rally in the first. They had first and third with just 1 out. It was a good breaking pitch that time from Copen.
Yeah.
Late movement, caught the inside corner.
Yeah, that was the tough part. It finished over the inside corner.
0-2. Drake McLaughlin with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss. And he goes down on strikes, as that was a good at-bat that time from Copen. As he up on that at-bat. That's the second out of Logan Sports' third inning. And that will bring up Ethan Denny. He singled and scored a run his first time up. Ethan is 1 for 1. Breaking pitch misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Lafayette Jeff 12, Logan Sport 2. The Berries batting here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs and a man on. Here's a ground ball. Base. Alderson waits for the big hop. Bobbles it. Throw to first is not in time as Ethan Denny hustling all the way down the line. Would have been. I think perhaps the base runner, Will Bennett, crossing his path may have distracted him ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But he bobbled it, and so E4. And the Berries now have 2 men on with 2 men out. And Carson Lopasser, courtesy runner for Ethan Denny.
Carson did a lot of that.
As did Drake McLaughlin, did a little bit of it as well.
Yeah. And Drake's got some pretty good wheels.
Now we get a third conference at the mound. The second one from the catcher, T.J. Preston.
This would be another one of those things we could limit to help move the game along.
And the activity still in the Broncos bullpen. So you get the sense that they're just trying to get Copen through this third inning. Perhaps they'll make a pitching change. We'll have to wait and see. First and second and 2 outs. And Charlie O'Connor reached via base on balls and scored a run his first time up. Good fastball on the outside corner. Swing and a miss from O'Connor. 0-1. 12 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Lafayette Jeff. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Berries. Logansport batting here in the top. Another late breaking curveball catching the inside corner. 0-2 on O'Connor. It was a very good pitch that time.
Yeah, it was.
From Copen. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, and the side is retired. The Berries, no runs, 1 hit, 1 Lafayette Jeff error, and the Berries leave 2. We go to the 4th. It's Lafayette Jeff 12. Logan. This is Berries baseball on WSAL.
Berries Baseball on WSAL is presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group. With Mike Anderson GM on the east side of Logansport. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Get a Chevy at Mike Anderson with award-winning dependability year after year after year after year. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag with American-made appliances and service you can depend on long after the sale. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. Now, more Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Berry, Joe Stutz, back at Jim Turner Field as we move to the 4th with the Berries trailing 12-2.
Yeah, not the kind of score you want to start the season with, but boy, you just got to look beyond that scoreboard. Can't get frustrated. Got another big important game tomorrow night. Another one right back with this same NCC opponent over at their place. So keep your heads up, play as hard as you can, and return the favor tomorrow.
So it'll be 7, 8, and 9 for Lafayette Jeff. Copen, Preston, and Austin to face Drake McLaughlin in his second inning of work for the Berries on the mound. Starts him off with a breaking pitch down low, 1-0. As Steve mentioned, these two teams will do battle at Loeb Stadium tomorrow night in Lafayette. And then Laporte in for a doubleheader on Saturday here at Jim Turner Field.
Oh, there's a good one.
Good breaking pitch for a called strike at the knees on Matthew Copen.
He seems like he can keep that. He's kept that nice at that same spot. He's just got to do it consistently and keep it away from their. The
breaking pitch that did not break. Copen is hit by that pitch, so he reaches via hit by pitch. So the Broncos have their leadoff man on again. So they've had the
first one of the season.
Yep. And we saw a whole bunch last year, an inordinate number of hits batsmen, both for and against the Berries.
Yes.
And that will bring.
I remember, right? We had 4 the very first game we played.
I think you're right. Yep.
By the same pitcher,
yep.
Who had actually a pretty good season.
Very good season. Yep. First pitch to Brady Preston, a called strike 1, 0-1 on the Broncos catcher. Here's a high chopper towards second base. Smith's only play is to first. He retires the runner there. Moving on to second is Copen. And I think that was a good decision that time for Gavin Smith.
Definitely.
He wanted to try and get that lead runner, but that was not hit sharply. All of his momentum was going away from second base. When you're down by this many runs, take the sure out, which he did.
Oh, yeah, he was much too close to the bag by the time he got that ball. And
so moving to second is Matthew Copen. And that will bring to the plate Zion Austin. A breaking pitch.
You must be swallowing those frogs that are jumping around over here.
I'm not sure what's going on.
You got one of those frog legs stuck in there somewhere.
Misses inside. Good stop by Denny. For third base, big hop for Mike Meadows. Bobbles it a little bit. Still has enough time to make a strong throw to retire Austin.
Oh, no.
At first base.
Okay, we're good.
And the throw over to third, not in time. And that's where Matthew Copen is.
Well, there again, Jackson made that long throw back over to. And if you're going to make that throw, you got to come up and do it a little bit quicker. I mean, if you're not going to do it quicker to try to get him out, then don't throw it. That's tough to do. To see that ball go across the infield twice on the same play. Third to first, first to third.
So here's the leadoff hitter, Copen. Here's a bullet. Gets through Gavin Smith, and it's going to go all the way to the fence. And Copen, with that great speed, is rounding second on his way to third. And he is in with what? They're going to give it a triple as that ball was hit on the nose. So the official scores a triple, and another Lafayette Jeff run crosses the plate.
I think we got a lot of officials in here. I'm not quite as giving on that, but I'll give in.
I'm with you. That was.
I know it was hard hit.
Yeah,
but
not an easy play, but
it did not come off the ground, and it should have been flagged down.
Here's a breaking pitch. Just missed to Jacob Walker. As the Broncos continue to send lots and lots of batters to the plate, as Walker bats for the fourth time here in the top half of the fourth inning. Here's a breaking pitch. Did not miss by much. 2 balls and no strikes. I think Walker was surprised that wasn't a called strike. So he kind of looked back. He looked back to the umpire like, "Are you sure?" But he's ahead in the count, 2-0. There's one into center field. It is going to be caught by a nice pitch out there by Charlie O'Connor on a sinking line drive, and the side is retired. But the Broncos get another run, and we go to the bottom half of the fourth. It's Lafayette Jeff 13, Logan Sport 2. This is Barry's Baseball on WSAL.
Mary's Baseball on WSAL is presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. With over 2,000 employees operating from their Logansport facility, processing pork and poultry to feed millions of people around the world. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. When you invest in Security Federal, you've invested in the community you live in. Remember, we go better together. Security Federal, member FDIC. Let's go back to the ballpark for Barry's Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Clary, Joe Stetz, back at Jim Turner Field. We have moved to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Lafayette Jeff has scored in every inning, 5 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 6 in the third, 1 more in the fourth. The Berries with a pair of runs in the second inning, so they trail 13-2 into the bottom half of the fourth inning. Logansport has the bottom of the order here. Coming up in the fourth, C.J. Hallam, Jackson Crowd, and Gavin. As Copen will stay out there for his fourth inning of work. Pitch in the turf, 1 ball, no strikes. Singled his first time up, drove in a run. 1 for 1 for the Berries designated hitter.
Whoa.
Here's one on the other side of Hallam, able to get out of the way and avoid being the pitch. And he's heading the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Teams will do battle tomorrow night at Lowe Stadium in Here's a pitch. Catch. Called strike.
That must be there. It's hard to tell over here, but he's been 3 or 4 pitches there that he's called them pretty consistent.
Yep. From Copen, swung on and missed, and CJ upset with himself as that one looked like it was a little bit out of the strike zone.
Oh, yeah.
But he couldn't hold off on that offering on the inside corner.
Yeah, just couldn't help himself.
Count even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Misses. So the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
CJ is one of those kids that he had a pretty good JV career. He was a pretty good hitter for JV team the last couple of years.
Here's the pitch, misses inside. So CJ Hallam draws a leadoff walk. He's on at first base with nobody out. And Jackson Crowd to the plate. Barry's first baseman struck out swinging his first time up. Lafayette Jeff 13. Logansport 2, and as it gets colder out at Jim Turner Field, the press box gets more and more people in it. Certainly don't blame him. I'd be in here too if I had the opportunity.
I forget I did talk to somebody. I don't know, it was a parent or somebody. I said, "Oh no, there's plenty of room."
No, there is.
I just look if they were. So
here's a foul down the first base side, out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Crowd.
And you know as well as I do, could be.
That's right.
Me and you.
There's a pitch inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lafayette Jeff 13, Logansport 2. Berry's batting here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. C.J. Hallam on at first with nobody out. Jackson Crowd takes a look at a ball up high. 3 balls and a strike. Jackson take a swing at that one as well. To hold off on that one as it was well out of the zone. Let's see if he gets a hittable pitch here, 3-1. Good pitch that time from Copeland, outside corner of the knees. He did not give in to the Berry's first baseman. Threw a good quality pitch for a called strike 2. 3-2 on Jackson Crowd. Pitch misses up high, ball 4. So back-to-back walks to start off the Berry's 4th inning. And with activity going on in the Broncos bullpen, looks like they've already made the decision to replace him. And we wondered if maybe the Broncos coaching staff was just trying to get Copeland through that 3rd inning. I guess they figured since he ended it so well, they give him a shot here in the 4th inning, but it looks like perhaps a combination of fatigue and the cold, because he's been having a hard time finding the plate here in this 4th inning with a pair of walks. Hallam now at second and Crowd at first.
He threw right around 60 pitches himself. So, again, that's not a great number, but for this time of the season, a reasonable hold a kid down.
A pinch runner, but for Crowd, but where's number 18? And I don't see
no 18.
An 18 in the program.
What number did you say?
I thought I saw 18.
Oh, you know who that is? That's I think it's Jacob Cayley.
Okay.
Is Cayley on? Now Cayley switched his numbers, I do believe, but I'm not positive of that.
So
I'm trying to go by his mannerisms. But I know Jacob is wearing Gmo's number this year.
Okay.
So he did switch numbers. I just don't remember what number Gmo wore last year.
So,
and I can't tell. I think that's Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
And the new Lafayette Jeff pitcher is Zach McLaughlin. As he stumbled on it, one of his warm-up tosses. Looks to be okay, and he also has a north delivery of a hitch at one point after he throws it. So it's not an easy adjustment for these hitters to make.
Evidently these rosters have been printed. They probably won't be changed all season, I would imagine. Seems like once they get these things printed, that's it for the year.
Right. So we'll have to get that sorted out. And to the plate now is Gavin Smith. Okay, we've got our good friend Rob Smith says it is Garrett Barron.
Oh, it is?
Garrett Barron at first base.
All right. Well,
so thank you to Rob Smith.
Thank you very much. No kidding. Because
one of Logansport's finest. I'm not sure.
Part of the way his manner is, I just wasn't too sure about that. Now, I do know Jacob did switch numbers, so it must have been 2 number 6.
And here's the bunt from Gavin Smith. Well done. Play to first is in time, but the runners advance. Moving to third is Hallam. To second is Jackson Crowd. And well done by Gavin Smith. Sacrifice. So Garrett Barron moves to second base. And never a bad time to work on situations, Steve. You're down 13-2, but the baseball play for that one was to sacrifice. You got a freshman at second base, a chance to lay one down on the varsity level, and well done by Gavin Smith.
He's going to be a big help to this team also the next few years.
So that'll bring Jacob Cox to the plate with second and third and 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Here's a pitch. Didn't miss by much. Jacob tried to, looked like he was ready to pull the trigger on that. One held off and missed just out of the zone high. 1 ball and no strikes. Third and Barron. The pitch on the way from McLaughlin. Outside corner, 1-1.
Kind of frees you up here, doesn't he? That pitcher, the way he delays in that motion. I hate that kind of pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Get you watching everything but what you're supposed to be watching. And anticipation builds anxiety.
So McLaughlin took a little bit too much time to throw that pitch, so Jacob Cox steps out of the batter's box. He steps back in, 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. The Berries with men on at second and third here in the bottom 4th. Logansport down 13-2. Here's the pitch from McLaughlin right off the handle, fouled straight back to the screen. 1-2. Here's a reminder, the LaPorte doubleheader that was postponed this past Saturday, this coming Saturday on April the 6th, and the Twin Lakes single game will be made up later on this season. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Cox. Again, fouled off the hands, back behind the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Broncos 13, the Berries 2. Logansport, though, with a couple men here in scoring position here in the last half of the 4th inning. And they have the top of the order up with Jacob Cox. Here's the pitch. Hit sharply on the third base side. It is going to go into left field for a base hit. Barron is going to be waved in. He will score, so 2 runs will score on a solid double time from Jacob Cox, and it is now 13-4.
Just got that inside that third base bag down there, and left fielder had no chance.
So a 2-run double from Jacob Cox. Some life for the Berries. Down now 13-4. Bennett out to left field his first time up. Singled his second time up. Will 1 for 2 on the day with a man on at second. And just 1 out for the Berries. Down 13-4. Here's the pitch. Swinging foul down the left field side out of play.
Pretty good cut.
Sure was. 0-1 on the Berries left fielder, Will Bennett, who started the night in right field, moved over to left following the pitching change. With Jacob Cox at second. Berries with a pair of runs in here in the 4th. Close in 4. Here's the pitch from McLaughlin. Chopper toward first. Good play by the first baseman, and he will beat Will Bennett to the bag in time. And that was not an easy hop that time from T.J. Preston, but he did a nice job. Cox goes to third on the ground out. That is out number 2 for the Berries. And Mike Meadows steps in. Meadows with a single his first time up and hit an absolute rocket his last time up to the center fielder for the second. Berries out of that inning, so he's 1 for 2. Meadows, chance to pick up a run with Coxie on at third base. Pitch didn't miss by much.
Does it seem
1
like
ball.
Center fielders, especially for...
Sure does.
What Meadows did the last time up.
Yep. And the Lafayette Jeff coaching staff adjusting the left fielder, but not the center fielder. Here's a slow chopper toward third. Going to be a tough play. They're going to let it roll foul, which it does. And that was a smart play. That bridge, if they had no chance to get Meadows, is again another ball on this field turf that just died.
Jacob ended up going back to the bag, but boy, as it turned out, I think he's kicking himself for not. No, as it turned out, it did go foul, but I'd hate to see that thing stay fair and him still be standing on third base.
Yep. And I think Jacob would have too, because Coach Turner is standing right next to him there at third base coach's box. Here's a breaking pitch, misses outside.
And he's not on the mound anymore, so he could get the full wrap.
That's right.
Now, we don't know. He could have been tell him to hold up also.
2 balls and a strike to Mike Meadows. Pitch on the way, hit sharply toward short. 1 hop, though. Big hop. And the throw is in the turf, but fielded nicely by Preston, and the side is retired. The Berries, though, do get a couple of runs at the end of 4. It's Lafayette Jeff 13, Logansport 4. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
This is Berries Baseball on WSAL, presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group with Mike Anderson Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in downtown Logansport. Jeep, the most awarded SUV brand ever, picked up another accolade for 2019 with the new Jeep Wrangler, the 2019 Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Driving is so much fun in a Jeep. From Mike Anderson. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag, featuring Whirlpool Appliances, the largest manufacturer of appliances in the world. American made, with service you can depend on long after the sale. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport, celebrating 70 years of service to Logansport. AM 1230, WSAL, Logansport.
Stutz back at Jim Turner Field. We have moved to the 5th inning. Lafayette Jeff on top of the Berries, 13-4. The Broncos have scored a run in every inning, 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 6 in the third, 1 in the fourth.
Oh, no.
Logansport with a pair of runs in both the second and the 4th inning.
They've been doing rather well in the odd number innings.
Yes. And they have the heart of the order here in this next odd inning.
So we're going to break that streak.
Yep. 3, 4, and 5 for the Broncos. Kalani Washington, Christian Maggio, and Cole Bridge. As Drake McLaughlin in for his 3rd inning of work in relief of Jacob Cox. Here's the pitch on the way from McLaughlin. Breaking pitch breaks over for a called strike 1, 0-1. On the left field of Kalani Washington. Had a bases loaded double his last time up. 2 for 3 on the day is Kalani Washington. Right-handed hitter with a big open stance. Ground ball bounces to the plate. 1-1 on Drake McLaughlin. That wind looks like it's died down just a little bit, but still pretty breezy here at Jim Turner Field on a cool night here on opening night. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Looks like it's been pretty.
I think so.
Coming in straight out of left field, straight in towards the plate.
2 balls and a strike. Pitch on the way from McLaughlin. Misses up and in. 3 balls and 1 strike. These two teams will match up tomorrow night at Loeb Stadium in Lafayette. We'll have that game for you here on AM 1230, FM 94.9 WSAL. With the pregame show at about 5:20. First pitch scheduled for 5:30. Here's a chopper toward third. Foul just past the third base coach. He saw that pitch. He liked that one. Did Washington. Jumped all over it. Was out in front of it just a little bit. Goes foul. The count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the 5th inning. Kalani Washington for the Broncos. Here's the payoff pitch. Oh. Misses inside. Gets away from Denny. Washington hustling all the way down the baseline. He will take a big turn and hold up there at first base. Good hustle by both him and Ethan Denny to get that ball back. Keep him at first base.
Okay, I guess I missed it. Maybe you said it and I still missed it, but I still don't hear anymore.
No,
but I'm not exactly sure who it is. Or is that Gavin that moved us short?
Could be.
Or is that...
strike.
Let's see. What did happen? Looks like Coxey went to center.
Okay.
Lupasser in right.
In left. Meadows remains at third. There's a breaking pitch for a called strike. Getting a big lead, and the throw gets away from Jackson Crowd.
We got a break there.
Mm-hmm.
Good quick move out there by there, backing up that throw.
So it is 0-2. Christian Maggio with Washington on at first and nobody out. There's a pitch down and away. Good stop by Ethan Denny. Count goes 1-2. Lafayette Jeff 13, Logansport 4. The Broncos batting here in the top half of the 5th inning. They have a man on first base with nobody out. Here's a pitch. Good pitch that time from McLaughlin. Out in front of that one was Maggio. As he's upset with himself, that was a hanging breaking pitch. If he had held up just a little bit, he might have been able to do some damage. But instead, it's out number 1 for the Broncos, and that will bring to the plate Cole Bridge, third baseman. He is 2 for 3 with a run scored. Breaking pitch misses down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. I'm trying to figure out who that new shortstop is.
just not familiar enough with these faces, especially when they're a couple hundred feet away.
Right.
Uh-oh.
First one hit left field. Will Bennett, though, looks like he has a beat on it, and he does for out number 2. No advance by the runner, Washington. He'll retreat back to first base. So that is 2 outs. And T.J. Preston.
So Charlie O'Connor's still at second.
All right, Rob Smith, who we might have to give a stipend to. He said Gavin to short and Charlie to second. So thank you to Rob Smith. So Gavin Smith is at shortstop.
Yep.
And Charlie O'Connor to second. So, and that moves Jacob. And we mentioned Jacob Cox moved from right to center. So that he moved over to second base. So, thanks again to one of Logan Sports' finest, Rob Smith, for helping us out tonight. You can tell it's opening night for us.
Oh,
here's one crushed. Going to go all the way to the fence, scoring easily will be Washington. And another double from Preston, and he will hold up there as that one was crushed.
Boy, he was off the pitch, and he was darn near to second base by the time the ball hit the turf on the outfield.
So T.J. Preston with his 3rd hit of the night. He is 3 for 4. Now Matthew Copen, the pitcher, and it was the pitcher's spot, beg your pardon, so it will be Marquise Munoz. Marquise Munoz will bat in the pitcher's spot, which was Copen. Broncos with a run in. They lead 14-4. Here's a breaking pitch for a called strike. Good pitch that time from McLaughlin. And not to make excuses, Steve, but something you mentioned at the start, the 4 games that the Broncos have played, I think that show they've got some games under their belt here this year.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Here's the single into right field. They're going to wave the runner in. Strong throw from Leposter is cut off by Jackson Crowd, and another run scores. It is now 15-4. And the Bears certainly not the start that they wanted to this season. But credit Lafayette, Jeff. They put the ball in play here tonight. Hit a few balls pretty hard, and they have an 11-run lead to show for it. 15-4 with 2 outs and a man on at first. Preston to the plate. Chopper towards short, and nobody is covering second base. The throw to first is in time. Great throw that time from Gavin Smith.
Yeah.
As Charlie O'Connor was just fell asleep, unfortunately.
Good quick thinking, a good grab.
And so,
that's not easy to do.
No, and that's just a freshman. You mentioned you thought Gavin Smith was going to.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play there.
Was going to be a big factor for the Bears this season, and that's certainly a great play that time from Smith.
There's already a little egg on there.
So the Broncos, though, get a couple more runs. We go to the last half of the 5th. It's Lafayette Jeff 15, Logan Sport 4. This is Barry's Baseball on WSAL.
You're listening to Barry's Baseball on WSAL, presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. Tyson has become an iconic image in Logansport. As the largest employer in Cass County, Tyson Fresh Meats is also a working partner in the Midwest and Canada, with hog transports coming to Logansport every day from hundreds of miles away. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. Don't let your credit hold you back. With Security Federal's Credit Builder, you can start building your credit up today. Terms apply. Security Federal. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. This is Barry's Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
We move thinning here at Jim Turner Field. The Berries trailing 15-4. They have their heart of the order up here in the last half of the 5th. Drake McLaughlin, Ethan Denny, and scheduled hitters to go up against Garrett McLaughlin in his second inning of work in relief. So the Bears got a couple runs across in the bottom half of the 4th, but unfortunately the Broncos got those right back in the top of the 5th to reclaim their 11-run lead, 15-4. As we begin play in the last half of the 5th, first pitch swinging is McLaughlin, fouled to the dugout of Lafayette Jeff.
Well, I'm gonna have to repeat that couple runs again just to keep this game going.
Mm-hmm. As Steve mentioned, the odd inning streak continues for Lafayette, Jeff. 5 runs in the first, 6 in the third, and 2 in the fifth. So they've had to put a crooked number up each odd inning so far tonight.
They didn't really care. They've scored every inning.
Yeah.
My goodness. What a way to dominate a game.
Mm-hmm. 0-1 on McLaughlin. Breaking pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Broncos with 15 runs on 13 hits. They've committed 2 errors. The Berries 4 runs, 5 hits. They have made 1 error. Here's the 1-1 pitch to McLaughlin. Into the air, into right field. And is going to fall in for a base hit. Nicely done that. Drake McLaughlin. That was in on his hands and didn't try to do too much with it. Just took it the other way and a solid single to lead off this 5th inning for Logansport.
Yeah, real solid. That inside out. Yeah, that's a real nice job.
That will bring Ethan Denny to the plate. Singled and scored a run in the second. Reached base via an error in the third. He is 1 for 2 on the night. The Berries trailing 15-4 here in the last half of the 5th inning. McLaughlin gets the sign. Pitch on the way, misses up high. 1 ball and no strikes. Drake McLaughlin on at first base. And now looking at a 1-0 pitch. Pitch is over but low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Giving Ethan quite a bit of room down, actually down both lines.
Yes.
But especially that right field line. I don't know how much Ethan pulls the ball, but boy, there's a lot of room for him.
Right. Pitch misses outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And they're not even holding Drake McLaughlin on at first base with his good speed. He could easily steal a base if he wanted to. We'll see if Coach Turner gives Ethan the green light. 3-0. We'll see what he does. He was taken all the way, and the pitch misses outside. So a base on balls for Denny. So first and second with nobody out in the Berries' 5th inning. And Charlie O'Connor to the plate. Singled and scored a run in the second. Struck out in the third. He is 0 for 1 officially. So the Berries, as Steve mentioned, need to get a couple runs to stay alive here in this last half of the 5th. And
they're doing what they need to do. First.
That's right.
No outs yet.
So see what Charlie O'Connor can do. With nobody out here in the last half of the 5th. Swing and a miss. Chased one a little. But boy, that, as a hitter, those are so hard to lay off. That fastball right in your eyes.
That thing right up there, and it looks like it's so easy to hit.
Oh, yeah. And give McLaughlin credit. That had a little bit of zip on it. Maybe the hardest fastball he's thrown so far tonight. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss on a good break. Crossed O'Connor up in a big way.
All I can say so far is discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're going to need to reach down and get some of that.
O'Connor now looking at an 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Letter high fastball that did not miss by much. Just out of the zone high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was closer to the strike zone than the one he swung at the first pitch.
Dave Kinder was not fooled by that movement from the catcher to try to bring it out back in.
So the count now 1-2 on O'Connor. Here's a pitch. Ooh, yes. Forrest called strike 3 as that's another nasty breaking pitch that time from McLaughlin. O'Connor wanted to pull the trigger on that, but just couldn't. He was really tied up on that breaking pitch. And that will bring C.J. Hallam to the plate, who's been on base both times. Singled in the second, reached via fourth, and scored one of the Berries' 4 runs here tonight with first and second and 1 out. Fastball over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. Lafayette Jeff 15, Logansport 4. Berries hitting here in the last half of the 5th. First and second and just 1 out for Logansport. Pitch on the way from McLaughlin. A high fly ball into right center field and hit deep.
Hit good.
And it continues to carry, and they're going to go up to the fence. Is going to score maybe 1 and possibly 2. The Coach Turner is going to wave them both in.
Well, they better.
Yep.
Because he was pushing him around.
Mm-hmm. So, and Denny both score on a ball that was absolutely crushed by C.J. Hallam.
And it just seemed like it kept carrying.
Oh, yeah.
Because that center fielder, unless he just fooled,
Yeah,
didn't turn and sprint, and actually end up being closer to the right fielder. Good long ball.
Yep, so C.J. Hallam with an impressive debut for the Berries tonight. Been on base all 3 times. He's on at second base with just 1 out, and here's Jackson Crowd to the plate. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Crowd struck out in the second, reached via base on balls back in the 4th. Batting with a man on at second, just 1 out. Berries trail 15-6. Here's a high fly ball into center field, not going to carry as much as the one from Hallam. The catch is made out there by center fielder Caleb Copen for the 2nd out of the Berries' 5th inning. And freshman Gavin Smith to the plate. Gavin reached base via fielder's choice in the 2nd and executed a perfect sacrifice bunt his last time up. Batting with a man on at 2nd and 2 outs. Berries trailing 15-6 on a chilly night here at Jim Turner Field. Swing and a miss. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. 0-1 on Gavin Smith, who has started the night at second base, has been switched over to shortstop for the Berries and made a nice play to end the top half of the 5th inning defensively. Breaking pitch over for a called strike. 0-2 on Gavin.
Gavin has played exactly 0 JV games, so he learning by jumping right into the fire.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Here's the 0-2 pitch, hit sharply. Great stop by Colbridge. The throw is not in time. It pulled the first baseman off the bag.
Well, good for Gavin, because he deserved a hit there.
Oh, yeah. And that was a great play by the third baseman Colbridge, and what a throw.
Yeah.
To get off the turf as quickly as he did, made the mount or across the diamond, but great hustle from Gavin Smith to beat it out. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. And Jacob Cox steps in. Jake's been on base a couple times tonight. Doubled his last time up, brought in 2 runs, hit a shot down the third baseline. Batting with 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. Breaking pitch misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Oops.
So the Berries with a couple of runs in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 2 here in the 5th. They're still batting with 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Over but low. 2 balls and no strikes. C.J. Hallam on at 3rd. Gavin Smith at 1st.
It smells like somebody's cooking in here.
It does.
Is that cheesy potatoes, or is that just me thinking?
Fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. But the Berries have gotten some productivity from the bottom of the order. A couple of runs in that 7th. And they're on base here again in the 6th. Here's hit into right field. Hit well. It is carried.
Did he hang on?
He made a great catch to the right fielder. What a play that time. Who was fooled. And that will end the Berries' 5th inning. They do get a couple of runs across the board. We go to the 6th. It's Lafayette Jeff 15, Logan Sports 6. This is Berries Baseball on WSAA.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Berries Baseball on WSAL, presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group, with Mike Anderson GM on the east side of Logansport. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Mike Anderson has one of the most iconic cars ever made in America, the Chevy Corvette. Corvette allows you to become one with the road. Get your Corvette at Mike Anderson. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag, with American-made appliances and service you can depend on long after the sale. Remember, good service isn't expensive, it's priceless. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. We hope that you're enjoying this broadcast of Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
There's that Steve Clary at Jim Turner Field. We have moved into the 6th inning. Lafayette Jeff on top 15-6. As the Broncos set to come to the plate here in the top half of the 6th inning, having scored runs in every inning so far. 5 in the first, 1 in the second, in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th. So we'll see if the Berries can put a goose egg up on the scoreboard, on this brand new scoreboard. They've yet to put a on this new scoreboard. This as good a time as any to do it. 9-1-2 for the Broncos here in the 6th. Zion Austin takes a look at a called strike one as Jake McLaughlin returns to the mound. He's done a pretty good job in relief of Jacob Cox.
Not bad at all. Yeah, he's quieted her bats down somewhat.
Somewhat, yep. Here's one hit sharply. Come on, hop toward Mike Meadows, bobbles it. Meadows picks it up, throw across the diamond in time to get Austin by half a step. So that is out number 1 for the Broncos here in the 6th inning. I believe that is just the second time the Broncos have failed to put the leadoff man on. Jacob Cox struck out the leadoff hitter in the 3rd inning. Oh, by the way, the Broncos went on to score 6 runs in that inning, so
yeah,
maybe not a good sign for the Berries after getting that leadoff batter up, especially with now at the top of the order and Caleb Copen to the plate.
Well, Mike Meadows sure showed some composure on that last play.
Here's one crushed into left field over the head of Will Bennett. One hop off the fence. Copen with those great wheels, and he is going to be waved on. Is in with a sliding triple.
He doesn't know how to slow down.
No. And Copen has been on base every time tonight, and that is his 2nd triple. That kid can absolutely fly. So he is on base for the 5th time in 5 plate appearances. And that will bring Jacob Walker to the plate. Walker flew out to center field his last time up. Walker singled and scored a run his first time up. Copen at 3rd with 1 out, breaking pitch. Didn't miss by much. That was a good breaking pitch, but umpire must have been a little bit high. Certainly was across the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's a ground ball to short. The infield is in. Throw in his home is not in time. My goodness, can Copen fly. Gavin Smith did everything perfectly. He was in.
Yes, he did.
He was in close.
Yep.
No hesitation. Made a strong throw. The throw was a little bit high, but other than that, nothing much you can do with that kid. Speed kills, as they say, and Copen can absolutely fly. Off on contact, so he scores the 16th run of the night for the Broncos. They lead 16-6, and Walker on at first. So, looking at Caleb Copen, and he's just a sophomore, Steve. So the Berries will get to deal with him for a couple more years after tomorrow night's game. Here's one into center field, and it's going to be. Oh, see, I misjudged that one a little bit.
Look at that throw!
Wow, didn't even step, just landed and just threw all arm.
We haven't seen something like that from Jacob, but we really haven't had the opportunities to do a whole lot over his varsity career. But I thought it was over. Made an athletic move just to get up and go get it. Of course, that was a rebounding instinct in him.
Yep.
And then, like you said, in just all in one motion, he came down, threw a hard strike to first.
Walker was able to get back safely, so there he remains with 2 outs. And designated hitter Christian Maggio to the plate. First pitch swinging is Maggio. A tower-high pop-up into shallow right center field. And good play that time from O'Connor, as that was in the air for a long time.
Yeah.
Battled the wind and was able to make the catch. And the side is retired. Lafayette Jeff does score a run. We go to the last half of the 6th. Lafayette Jeff 16, Logan Sports 6. On double.
WSAL's coverage of Berries baseball, presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. Tyson has invested millions of dollars into the Logansport facility, demonstrating its confidence in the workforce created in the Logansport region. Tyson Fresh Meats is proud to be operating in Cass County. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. Don't forget, Security Federal offers trust services. Plan for who's important after you're gone. Talk to the trust department at Security Federal. Member FDIC. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Alongside Steve Clary, Joe Stutz, back at Jim Turner Field. We moved to the bottom half of the sixth, 16-6, as Lou is bringing the press box up to speed with what he saw from Lafayette. Jeff, in their first 4 games of the season, still an unbelievable statistic. Can you hear that? Mm-hmm. But he mentioned 18 consecutive hits that they gave up and 18 runs. That's going through the batting order 2 complete times without retiring it out. That's demoralizing to say the least.
Yeah. You might see it in a youth league game or something.
Right.
But, it's probably exactly how they felt.
The Bears have 2, 3, and 4 up here in the bottom of the 6th. Will Bennett to lead things off. Takes a look at a breaking pitch up high. 1 ball, no strikes. He'll be followed by Mike Meadows and then Drake McLaughlin. Bennett hit the ball well a couple times. Just one hit to show for it tonight. Swing and a miss. Good fastball on the outer part of the plate. 1-1.
Just kind of came off of that
Bennett.
pitch a little bit.
Just a little, yep.
Yep.
So the Bears need to score at least 1 run to stay alive here in the home half of the 6th, down 10 runs. Breaking pitch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mike Meadows waiting in the on-deck circle for Logan Sport. Here is the pitch. Fastball misses outside. 3 balls and a strike. We'll see.
The advantage of getting those 2 runs and forcing another inning is, the game might be well in hand, but you get some more guys get up to bat. And, and just look what we saw out of Gavin Smith with that throw from shortstop. I mean, guys need plays. Yep.
Here's a fly ball to left field. Kept carrying away from the left fielder. Kalani Washington made the catch. That ball carried as the night goes on, as the ball seems to be carrying for both sides a little bit better than they did at the start of the night.
And it looks like it's against the wind. Still carrying a little bit.
So it's been a strange night with the big hops off the field turf, the ball sometimes slowing down off this field turf, and now the ball carrying in what Steve said looks like it's into the wind, but here's a pitch swung on and missed. Fastball on the inside corner. Good pitch that time from McLaughlin. Mike Meadows 1 for 3, but hit the hardest ball of the night right to the center fielder his second time up. Here's a pitch over but low. 1 ball and 1 strike. These 2 teams back at Globe Stadium, 5:30 start time, AM 1230, FM 94.9. The broadcast beginning with the pregame show at about 5:20.
Oh,
one right over the pitcher's head.
Took
McLaughlin.
Pitcher's hat off.
And he's got a smile on his face as he was able to get out of the way, as that one, another bullet off the bat of Mike Meadows. So he is on board with his second of the night.
That's a pretty smart pitcher out there. Yeah. He got out of the way.
And he's still,
I don't care what kind of hit you get. I'm out of the way.
And he's still smiling about that one. That could have been big trouble if he hadn't been able to get out of the way. So fortunately he was. Here's a pitch in the turf. Meadows off as soon as he saw it get away from the catcher. Good hustle by Mike. He's down to second base with just 1 out.
One more.
And here's Drake. Here's Drake McLaughlin looking at a 1 ball and no strike count. McLaughlin singled and scored a run his last time up. Here's the 1-0 pitch from McLaughlin off the end of his bat side. I think on a warmer night, Coach Platt might have gone for it, but
you think
didn't want to take his hands out of his pockets on this chilly night.
No, I don't think I would either.
So keep him right there. And look at that there. He fields the hop back from the thrower from the right fielder. So, yeah, I think on a warm night he'd have gone for it. But a ball and a strike with 1 out to Drake McLaughlin here in the bottom of the 6th with Mike Meadows on at second base. Here's the 1-1 pitch high in the air into center field. It is shallow. Copeland coming in, and it will fall in for a base hit. So moving to third.
Well, we're a base hit closer to another inning.
And if Caleb Copeland couldn't catch up with that ball,
That's
there
right.
was nobody that could. Ball was placed perfectly that time. His second hit of the night, so good start to Drake McLaughlin's season.
The 2 teams, there's been 24 hits tonight put on the board. 22 runs, 24 hits. Unfortunately, they just got a whole lot more of those runs.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So to the plate now is Ethan Denny. He has scored 2 of Logan Sport's 6 runs tonight. First pitch swinging is Denny, a towering fly ball into right field. Austin will make the catch. Runner is tagging. Throw home is not going to be in time. Meadows will score. Moving to second on the throw home was McLaughlin. The ball was cut off, but Drake was still able to get to second base. Good piece of base running that time for McLaughlin. And Ethan Denny does his job.
Yes, he did.
Drives in a run. It is now 16-7. And for those fans that may not have been disappointed to go home early in these chilly temperatures, will stay for another inning.
Yeah. Well, there's more concessions that could be purchased, and more batters take some more pitches. And
so here's Charlie O'Connor to the plate. Fastball up high. 1 ball, no strikes. But like I said, Steve, that's a good point you made a few minutes ago. Just a couple more at-bats for the Berries, a couple more innings with the youth and inexperience on this team right now.
Especially when you turn right around and play again tomorrow night. Yeah, yep. Get some at-bats. I mean, the worst thing would have been having a 5-inning game and you only get around the order maybe twice.
Right. There's a fastball misses, or swing and a miss that time from O'Connor. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs for the Berries with Drake McLaughlin on at second base.
We're on our 4th time around the order. So be good showing from that standpoint anyway.
Absolutely. Here's McLaughlin and O'Connor slicing a fly ball down the right field side. It is going to fall in for a base hit. O'Connor running all the way. He will stop at second base, and scoring is Drake McLaughlin. It is now 16-8. And it looked like a lot of times off that right-handed bat, and Austin is slow to get up as he went full tilt, and that fence out there does not give.
Oh,
and he's hopefully it's nothing more maybe than just
right.
But he was able to ball and throw it back in, but he has tried to get up, but he is.
Yeah, I looked away after I saw the ball come in. I didn't think much of it.
Yeah, I started looking away too, but Mr. Platt up there noticed that he was a little bit hurt as he that fence does not give. Berries with a couple more runs in here in the home half of the 6th inning.
And then, of course, this is the downside of extending those games.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It looks like they're looking at his lower right leg, so hard. I don't want to speculate, but it looked like maybe
he's not hopping up, though.
No, it looked like maybe just the collision, and that's what caused him to go to the turf. But they're looking at the lower.
They're looking. I think they're looking for a some help.
Yep.
To get this kid back in off the field.
They're able to.
Nope. Well, he is up.
So it's he's limping heavily, but he's at least able to get off the field under his own power with some help.
It's like it's that right leg. It's not. It's very stiff.
Yep. And again, we won't speculate, but a turned ankle, that certainly be not the worst thing that could happen given how bad it could have been running into that fence. But
and the fence, actually, that new kind of fencing, it actually is kind of soft. It's not like the old chain link fences that they can rip you up. Not that couldn't.
Right.
I don't know if he. I don't think there's any cross bars out there, but
no.
But it'd be interesting to see if we see him tomorrow night.
Right. Yep. But the good news is he's able to at least walk off under his own power with some help, and so.
Well.
So now C.J. Hallam, who has hit the ball well tonight.
Yeah.
2 for 2, and
still got a man in scoring position out there.
Walked and scored a run his middle time up to the plate, so been on base all 3 times. So we'll see what CJ can do as the Berries trying to make things interesting.
Well, just keep plugging away.
That's right.
Keep playing until they say you can't play any longer.
That's right. So here, as Hallam looks at a breaking pitch of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. Lafayette Jeff 16, Logansport 8. The Berries batting here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Have a man on at second and 2 outs. C.J. Hallam at the plate. Fastball. Must have missed low, and McLaughlin not real happy about that one. I think he wanted that pitch. From up here, it looked pretty good. But Dave Kinder ruled it was just a little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes. We'll see if CJ gets himself a pitch he can handle. And he does right up the middle for a base hit. Turner is going to wave the runner in, and now he's going to hold him up.
That was a good decision.
Yep. As that ball was hit sharply, and Copen with a strong throw, I think that I'm with you. That's a good decision. I think O'Connor would have been an easy.
It was right on the mound. That ball was getting right to the plate. It's right on target.
If you're down, when you're down 8 runs, you need lots and lots of hits to try and get back in the game. So you don't want to run into any outs. Down 8 runs, and that will bring Jackson Crowd to the plate. Hit the ball well his last time up. Flew out to the center fielders. We'll see if he can get a 2-out RBI for the Berries. There's a fastball, misses up high. 1 ball and no strikes as we got just about at the 2-hour mark here.
We got an official football score now, I guess.
That's right. A couple of 2-point conversions.
Yeah.
16-8. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Jackson Crowd. Fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hallam at first, O'Connor at third, 2 outs. Logansport with a couple of runs in here in the bottom of the 6th to draw within 8 runs, 16-8. Here's the pitch to Crowd. Over but low, and McLaughlin again.
Well, his knees are kind of high.
Yep.
Yeah.
And McLaughlin looked over at the Lafayette Jeff dugout and just shrugged his shoulders like, I don't know where that one was, Coach. Where was it? So it's 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch on the way. To Crowd, fastball misses outside. And a strike. Berries have scored 2 runs in each of the last 3 innings. 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 so far here in the 6th. And they're not in 2 outs. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Crowd. A chopper up the middle.
Trouble.
Throw to second and in time, and the side is retired. Logansport, though, does get a couple of runs. We go to the 7th. It's Lafayette Jeff 16, Logansport 8. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
Berries Baseball on WSAL is presented by the Mike Anderson Auto Group with Mike Anderson GM on the east side of Logansport. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Get a Chevy at Mike Anderson with award-winning dependability year after year after year after year. This game is also sponsored by Logansport's Direct Maytag. With American-made appliances and service you can depend on long after the sale. See Direct Maytag on East Market Street in Logansport. Now, more Berries Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Joe Stetz, Steve Clary. Back at Jim Turner Field. Looks like we have another mound for Logansport. That is junior Matt Fouts.
Okay.
Like getting his varsity debut. And he will face 5, 6, and 7 in the Lafayette Jeff lineup. Cole Bridge, TJ Preston, and Matthew Copen. So we'll see if finally put a 0 on the scoreboard defensively, as the Broncos have scored a run in every inning so far to take a commanding 16-8 lead as we move into the 7th inning.
Not a bad job for
no,
Drake
absolutely
McLaughlin.
not.
I mean, he ended up giving up a few runs, I think 6 altogether, but he certainly, it just seemed to come in and settle things down somewhat.
Yep.
Weathered the storm and
showed a lot of poise out there for a kid who hadn't pitched before. So
first time out, and then here comes another kid. I can't tell you one thing about this kid.
Okay.
Because this will be his first appearance in a varsity game.
And here's the first pitch to Cole Bridge. Good breaking pitch. Chopped over for a called strike. 0-1. And I guess the music is still playing. So the music was playing. We were enjoying it up here, but a little distracting for the ball players, so we had to turn it off.
I didn't even hear it.
0-1. Here's a chopper in front of the mound, fielded by Fouts. Throw to first in time. So impressive start to Matthew Fouts' pitching career. Gets a ground out. 1-3. It's out number 1. TJ Preston, who has hurt the Berries tonight. He has scored 3 runs, been on base 3 of his 4 plate appearances. Doubled and scored in the first. Walked and scored in the third. Grounded out to second in the third as the Broncos batted around, and then doubled back in the fifth. Empty. And 1 out here in the 7th. Breaking pitch didn't miss by much. 1 ball, no strikes.
I think it's going to be one of those seasons, which isn't too unusual, especially this season. I don't ever see 2 games back-to-back with the same lineup. Moving around, try this, try that.
Fastball misses out of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he does have a lot of players this year that are interchangeable parts. So
this pitch misses outside, and I beg your pardon, I was mistaken on the count. It is 3-0. So 3-0
that was
on TJ Preston. Let's see if they give him the green light with an 8-run lead here in the top half of the 7th inning. We'll see as Preston's hit the ball very well tonight. I think he was taken all the way, and no matter, the ball was out of the zone, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to TJ Preston, and that will bring to the plate Marquise Munoz to the plate for his second at bat, in the spot originally occupied by the starting pitcher Matthew Copen. He singled his only trip to the plate. Here's a fastball missed up high. 1 ball, no strikes. 16 runs, 14 hits, and 2 errors for Lafayette, Jeff. 8 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for Logansport. Here's one hit in the air into center field, and Jacob Cox, and it will go a ground rule double.
Yeah. Well, look at him fly. Yeah. Holy cow.
So, down another extra base hit for Lafayette, Jeff. We'll bring Brady Preston to the plate. Preston singled in the first, walked and scored a run in the third, grounded out to second in the fourth, grounded out to short back in the 5th. So he's batting with men on at second and third, just 1 out. Broncos on top 16. Good breaking pitch. That's a called strike.
Said another break or another extra base hit. You're exactly right. There's half of their hits are extra bases tonight.
Wow.
Unless I've missed one, I have them for 5 doubles and 2 triples.
Oh my goodness, that's getting it done. Second and third with 1 out. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Preston. Good breaking pitch again from Matt Fouts. 0-2. TJ Preston at second. Marquise Munoz, Preston at third, beg your pardon. Marquise Munoz at second with 1 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Slow roller in the top. Gavin Smith up with it.
Look at that arm.
Time. What an arm by Gavin Smith. Throws him out.
Wow.
Run scores. And moving to third.
Wow.
And it's Munoz.
Very composed out there.
Wow. So a 6-3 ground out. That is out number 2.
Of course, I'm sure there's people out here that are familiar with Gavin that they're not surprised, but it's the first time I've got a chance to see him play.
And one of the things we talked about last year is that they didn't have a shortstop, so that's why Tucker didn't get a lot of opportunities to pitch the way Gavin's looking.
Yeah.
I think, and once Tucker gets out there, I don't think Coach Turner will have any reservations about giving the ball to Tucker and putting Gavin in at shortstop. Is he?
Not from what I've seen now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, well, Tucker did play shortstop his freshman year, but he's been penciled in just about every game since then.
Right.
And, eventually, and here it is, you do have to look to the future.
Right. And Fouts with another good breaking pitch, so he's quickly ahead of Leo Guida, who's pinch hitting now for Austin. Pitch down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Coach Wild liked that pitch, and I agree, that was a good 0-2 offering.
Yeah, it was.
Guida was able to hold off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On a third, the Broncos up 17-8. Fastball didn't miss by much. 2-2.
Well, I got to search, but I passed ball tonight.
Okay.
We had 1 wild pitch, but
Here's the breaking pitch. did not miss by much. And if you ask the folks here in the press box, it didn't miss at all.
That's right.
But I'll get the call, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And umpires, they're human too. They make mistakes. And
yeah.
I think.
Get cold, get tired, get this or that. And
that was a significant break to that pitch. So maybe the umpire gave up on it, thinking it was out of the zone. It wasn't, but it dropped in. Sort of looked like a good pitch. But Fouts has to do it again, 3-2.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do.
Almost the same location, but just missed high, ball 4. So first and third now for Lafayette Jeff. And the bad news is that brings the top of the order and Caleb Copen.
Boy, you just didn't want to see that happen.
No. Well, you play the percentage that I don't think Copen in his career is kind of making out. So
actually, I just found a extra base hit that I didn't mark down.
Okay. Here's one hit. Foul just above us here in the press box. 0-1. Fouts with 4 hits and a walk. He's been on base all 5 times here tonight for the Broncos. They lead 17-8 here in the top half of the 7th inning. First and third and 2 outs for the Broncos. Fastball misses out of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Fouts. First varsity action. Here's one hit off the end of the bat toward short. Gavin Smith bobbled it a little bit. He will step on the bag, though, at second and make the play. And the side is retired. The Broncos do score a run. We go to the last half of the 7th. It is Lafayette Jeff 17, Logansport 8. This is Barry's Baseball on WSAL.
Barry's Baseball on WSAL is presented by Tyson Fresh Meats. With over 2,000 employees operating from their Logansport facility, processing pork and poultry to feed millions of people around the world. Buy the Tyson brand at your local grocery store. This game is also sponsored by Security Federal Savings Bank. With over 80 years of dedication to the Cass County community, Security Federal strives to provide a better kind of banking, like summer nights and fireflies. We go better together. Security Federal, member FDIC. It's time for our Barry's postgame show. Let's go back to the ballpark for Barry's Baseball on WSAL Logansport.
Just that, Steve Clary. It is not just time for Barry's postgame, as the Barrys still have 3 outs to give up as they are in the bottom half of the 7th inning, trailing 17-8, and we have a new pitcher for Lafayette Jeff and a left-hander, the first southpaw we've seen for either side tonight, Noah Ritchie. This is a big young man, but again, Steve, this good experience for the Barrys. Had not seen a left-hander obviously in the early going this season, so at the very least 3, which can only help as the season moves forward. And it will be Gavin Smith, Jacob. 3 scheduled hitters here in the last half of the 7th. And Gavin Smith with a nice debut in his varsity career. Reached base via fielder's choice, a perfect sacrifice bunt, and a single. So he's done his job from that 9th spot in the batting order. Takes a look at a ball down low. 1 ball, no strikes.
I wouldn't doubt that this is one young man that we're going to see move around the order, and with the tools that he presents, and a heady ball player.
Yep. Yeah, I like what that play he made to end the top half of the 7th inning after Bob didn't panic, knew he had time to run over to second base and beat the runner there. And I'm not sure what.
Well, I don't know either. Dave must have. I'm not sure what he saw. There some.
So I thought Mr. Platt was going to had a moment of seriousness, and I should have known better. But I'm not sure what precipitated that trip to the mound by the umpire. But
going to the mouth
could be. Yep. Here's a pitch down low.
So see, he couldn't go to the mouth, and he threw it in the dirt.
There you go. And now we have a trip to the mound from Preston, and did Ritchie maybe hurt himself in that delivery? No, it looks like he's okay. Lafayette Jeff 17, Logansport 8. The Barrys batting here in the home half of the 7th, down to their final 3 outs. 9-1-2 for Logansport. Gavin Smith, Jacob Cox, and Will Bennett. So here is the 2-0 pitch to Gavin Smith. Ball in the turf, 3-0. If I were a betting man, I'd say he's got the take sign here. Down 9 runs here in the 7th.
I totally agree.
Especially for the kid just coming in cold, has not pitched at all, and has not been able to find the strike zone in his first 3 pitches.
There you go.
Tailing fastball, tails out of the strike zone, ball 4. The Berries have their leadoff man aboard. And to the top of the order, Jacob Cox. Jacob hit the ball well his last time up. The right fielder made a nice play to retire him.
It might take me the rest of the week to get all these stats harnessed.
Yeah, this has been something. 27 hits combined, 25 runs combined between these two teams.
Wow.
Just for
10 or 12 errors to go with
yeah,
it.
that's about to say pretty well defensively, given as many balls have been put in play.
Right, exactly.
From both squads. Pitch misses down and into Jacob Cox. He's ahead in count, 1 ball, no strikes. Gavin Smith on at first, nobody out. Berries need lots and lots of hits and lots of runs here in the 9th, or in the 7th, down 9 runs. Here's one gets past the catcher. Gavin Smith with some nice speed over there, gets to second easily, hustling all the way, made a big turn, will hold up right there. So he is in scoring position with nobody out. And again, just the more at bats, the early season, the better for the Berries.
And, a whole different game situation down the road. I mean, those 2 runs that you come back and get might be even more important.
Right.
The fact that your backs are against the wall and you need these run, you need that runner, and we've scored 6 runs the last 3 innings.
So Jacob Cox with the hitter's count ahead in the 2 balls and no strikes, with a man at second and nobody out. Taking all the way, and that pitch.
His arm was wanting to come up.
I think it was a little bit low. So it's 3-0. So Richie has not been able to find the strike zone. Out of the zone here to get things started. And here's the pitch.
There we go.
Ball 4.
Look at Gavin.
Gavin
He's gone.
Smith saw it get away from the catcher and immediately sprinted to third base. Great speed. Good heads-up play by Gavin. So he's 90 feet away from scoring a run.
We just got to figure out a way to get more than 2 runs an inning.
Yeah.
I like the fact we've scored 4 times, 4 innings, but
and so
this kid's not had very good luck yet.
No. So a trip to the mound.
Actually, I don't think he's thrown a strike yet.
No, I think he's 8 in a row out of the zone. No activity in the Bronco bullpen, but a long chat. And I think, not sure what's going on. Someone's out there with a pair of shoes to maybe change shoes.
Well, he did kind of fall pitch.
So now we have.
They're going to blame it on the shoes, or just changing shoes to change positions. I'm not sure what they're doing here.
Yep, I'm not sure.
Now we got shoes flying.
So we got a change of shoes. As the umpire and the manager from Lafayette, Jeff, and Dave Kinder talking about whatever was discussed to start this inning after that first pitch. But they seem to.
I guess they're not. All they're doing is changing shoes, not pitchers.
Nope. So how about that?
You got to get your lucky shoes on, I guess.
Hey, whatever it takes. That catcher's to try and stay in the action, so dance along to YMCA, blaring over the loudspeaker. It's been a long night, but a fun night here at Jim Turner Field. Some good things have happened for the Berries. They can keep the good things going here in the last of the 7th, down 17-8, but they have first and third and nobody out.
Wow.
And it's got to be the shoes, Money.
Got to be the shoes.
Got to be the shoes as Will Bennett takes a look at a strike. So he is 8 balls in the old shoes and 1 strike in the new shoes. So we'll see. Now Will's ready to hit 0-1. Here's one hit in the air into shallow center field. Gavin Smith is tagging. Coping with a strong arm. They're going to send Gavin Smith, and he is able to score. The throw gets away from the catcher, and Jacob Cox moves to second. So good piece of hitting by Will Bennett to get that run in.
I'm giving him an error.
Yeah, I think so too, because that was because Jacob wasn't going to go until he saw that ball get away from the catcher. Advances.
Let's see.
Cox to second. So a run in here in the 7th, 17-9, and was absolutely crushed. Logansport with a chance to pick up a run here. Here's one.
There's one.
In the left center field is going to fall in for a base hit. Jacob had to hold up to make sure it was going to fall in, but they're going to wave him in, and he is in for a run. An RBI single for Mike Meadows. And it is now 17-10. Still just one out for the Berries here in the 7th.
Ted Mike's 1, 2, 3 hits for the night.
And the one and the hardest hit ball of the night from either side was the bullet at the center fielder that was very easily could have 4 hits.
Of all those hits and how well he's hit the ball, it's still his first RBI of the night.
Yep. And just overhearing some of the conversation behind us, Greg Dominic mentioned that really just 2 bad innings for the Berries, the 5-run first and the 6-run third.
Oh, yeah.
There's 11 of the 17 runs right there.
Yep.
So obviously not the night that the Berries wanted to start, but a lot of good has happened. And
we've hung in there, and we've scored.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many times this year 10 runs should win?
Here's one hit into the air into right field. Having a beat on it all the way and making the catch for the second out. So the Berries now down to their final out. McLaughlin likes swinging at that first pitch. Just got under that one a little bit. That is out number 2 for the Berries here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that will leave it up to Ethan Denny. Denny has scored a couple runs and driven in one with a sacrifice fly back in the 6th.
That's the way we got started. We'd had guys batting 5 times tonight.
Oh, yeah. Here's a pitch over but low. Strikes. And the Berries can take a lot of, if they are not able to pull off this comeback, and get a lot of that back tomorrow at Lowe Stadium, Lafayette tomorrow. Get right back at it. Here's a pitch called strike on the outside corner. 1-1 to Ethan Denny. Meadows on at first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lafayette Jeff 17, Logansport 10. Teams have combined for 28 hits here on opening night at Jim Turner Field. Here's a pitch, high chopper toward first base. It is going to roll foul. So, new life for Ethan Denny. It looked like if that State Ferry would have been an easy out at first base.
Yeah, probably would have been. So.
But he's now down to his last strike as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, is there some crows circling the field? I'm not sure what. That's probably just coincidence. It's been a long night here. Got a late start as the Broncos were late arriving, as the umpires as well. But going to get this one in. Here's the pitch. Denny swung on and missed. Gets away from the catch of the base, and they are able to do so. Nice play by the first baseman Preston to stay on the bag, and the side is retired. Logansport, though, another 2 runs. So five of the 7 innings, they scored 2 runs. So they scored 10 runs. So that will score is Lafayette Jeff 17, Logansport 10. We'll take one final break. When we return, we'll have our post-game show. Hopefully have a chance we'll talk to Coach Turner. This is Berries Baseball on WSAL.
Adopt US Kids presents